Warm welcome to the SMH Group Stadium, home of course of Chesterfield Football Club. And at this stage, even this early stage of the season, we're in for perhaps a meeting of two title contenders. In the home side, Chesterfield, as we wander into the SMH, and the visitors, Oldham. Chesterfield have made a fast start, 3 wins from 3. Oldham, patchier, it's fair to say, but we'll see what today brings. In terms of the home team, if you look to my left, you'll see just how storied their past is. Plenty of trophies for Chesterfield in that cabinet, their long time as an EFL club. Oldham too, of course, with a brilliant past, but Chesterfield's 10 goals in their first 3 games. If you look just to my right here, you'll see club legend Ernie Moss. He would approve of that kind of goal-scoring tally. Let's get on into the tunnel and meet some of those that'll have a view on today's game. Well, down a busy tunnel ahead of this lunchtime kickoff, out of the dark, somewhat into the light, with 3 fellas who definitely know where the onion bag is. Aaron McLean at the far end, you all know very well. John Sheridan, you certainly know, and everybody around here does, because he's managed both of these teams in Chesterfield and Oldham. And welcome Will Grigg, of course, well-known name, well-known striker, scorer of many goals at League One and above thus far. So, what are you doing here, Will?
Yeah, it was a big decision for myself. Obviously, I spoke to the manager about potentially joining the club, and I came down, had a look at the vision. You know, the short-term project, long-term project, and it came to the conclusion that it was something I wanted to be part of.
Yeah, well, it started, as I'm sure you mean to go on, John, goal scorers at any division, and you've seen, and we've seen last season with Langstaff and Mullin in this league. Very important.
Yeah, and Will definitely fits that bill, and that's what he's expected to do, come score goals, and I'm sure he will. And I've just been talking to him. He says if between 20 and 30 he'll be happy. So, no, if you give him the ammunition, he's in and around the box, he's lethal. So he'll need to score plenty of goals, and if he's doing that, the team will be winning games. Yeah,
Macca, we saw, I think, just the other night at Oxford, that calm finish, that picking out of corners. We saw it last season with those two we've talked about in Langstaff and Mullin. Matters a great deal.
Absolutely. You know, you look at any team that's going to get promoted out of this division, you need out-and-out goal scorers. You need people that in tight games, you know, are going to be able to put the ball in the back of the net at the end of the day. And, you know, obviously you're one of a few new signings. You know, how have you found it with the lads? You know, how's your settling in period been?
The lads have been great, to be honest. They've made it really easy for myself. It's a great dressing room, and yeah, I think it obviously helps knowing a few of the lads as well. I played with Colclough previously at Wigan and Michael Jacobs, so that definitely helps. But I think, you know, the quality of player behind me, it makes it very easy. My job's sometimes to stay away from the game and let them get involved and stay in the box and score the goals. But with the quality behind me, I know the chances will come.
It's funny, I keep saying that to Macca. Striker's easy if the players behind you are any good. John, as a midfielder, would agree with that. How tough is today? Because Oldham haven't had the start that you've had in results, but they're no pushovers.
No, definitely. You know, they're going to be a massive rival this season. They've invested well and made some really good signings, so it's going to be a tough game. Like you said, not necessarily had the best start, the start that we have, but I think if you look at our previous 3 games, there have been such challenges, and I think every week, every game's a different challenge, and that's going to be the same again today. So, yeah, it's going to be a big crowd here, and we're expecting a real tough challenge. Yeah.
Do you see these two, your two of your old teams, John, as contenders?
Yeah, I think so. I think they both invested really well. Obviously, Chesterfield got some really good, strong players for this league. Oldham invested. They got off to a slow start, though. Chesterfield got off to a decent start, and confidence in the team will be. Will give them a boost, getting a good start. Oldham, you know, I really fancy the pair of them to be up there at the end of the season.
They do feel, I know it's easy to lean on last season, but they do feel like two of the big beasts of this National League campaign, Oldham and Chesterfield.
Yeah, they do. In terms of club size and stature, they are. In terms of their signings, listen, Will and James Norwood coming in, you're not signing players that, you know, gone are the days where players are just coming to this level to just see out their career and pick up their money. You're bringing in, you know, you just look at him physically, and when you speak to him, they're coming in to win. Yeah. They're not coming in to just end their career. And I think that's the beauty of this division now, is that players are coming here and still have that hunger and desire to go on and do well. And the league's only gonna see the benefits from it, and so are the clubs.
Thanks all. Good luck. Nice to speak to you pre-match. We'll see how Will gets on. And indeed, in some ways, his opposite number, James Norwood, who's talking to Jeff Brazier.
So, James, after 4 years in League One, you're back in the National League. What attracted you to Oldham?
I just think the project. I spoke to the manager and how he wanted me to play and how he saw me setting up within the team. And, you know, it was exciting. I had a good pre-season at Barnsley, scored goals and was confident of scoring goals in League One. But they wouldn't extend my contract, and sort of this club offered me a good deal and an exciting project to go towards, and I can do that in the long term.
Yeah. And how have you found your first 3 games back?
It's been different, the style of play and certain things like that, but I managed to get a couple of goals, and I'm hoping to continue that. I've always scored goals, and I just want to score as many as I can this season.
In terms of the team's performance, is it a case of just needing time to gel together?
Yeah, I mean, I had this when I first joined Barnsley, group of lads that hadn't played too many games together, so it's just going to be important that we stay in the race for the first 5 or 6, and we start to understand each other's games, and we can push on.
The last time we see you, James, obviously you were scoring a winner at Wembley for Tranmere to take them to League Two. Would you prefer to do it automatically this time?
Yeah, 100%. I've not had an automatic promotion yet, so it'd be lovely to do it in the course of 46 games and not have to deal with the pressure of the playoffs and Wembley, although it is a good place to play.
So in terms of your opponents today, they're flying in their first 3 games. It's so early doors, but what kind of game and what kind of challenges do you think you'll face from them?
Yeah, I've played under Cookie, so I know how the team's set up. They like to play football. They like to attack, and they play out from the back. So we're expecting them to sort of keep the ball on the floor and press well, but we're going to give it as good as we get.
Well, James, good luck today. Thanks very much.
Cheers, thank you.
James Norwood with Jeff. I've dragged John and Macca away from the dugouts because they were in danger of taking over. And we're in the far corner watching Oldham go through their warm-up routine. And John, hearing from James, interesting that it looks like they're going with 3 out-and-out strikers, Willoughby and Nuttall, in support of Norwood.
Yeah, looking at the team sheets, both teams very attack-minded. Obviously, Oldham looks like 3 strikers, so the formation we're a bit puzzled with, but
yeah,
obviously coming thinking they can score goals. So I'm expecting a few goals in the game, which it should be entertaining,
yeah.
But it'd be interesting to see how they line up.
Yeah, indeed. And for Chesterfield, it looks, I wouldn't say the opposite, but it looks like there's 3, shall we say, creative players with the return of Dobra behind Grigg, and no Berry today.
Yeah, well, I think that you look, and when you've got Will Grigg in the team, their formula should be get him chances. We've seen throughout his career that if he is someone, for me, at this level, he should be a 1 in 2. Without a shadow of a doubt. Get him chances and he'll score goals. But you've got the likes of Dobra, you've got the likes of Mandeville, you've got Colclough, who all creative players, all really good technically, all have a really good eye for goal. So being able to get all of those players in the team, if they can get that really working, then they're going to be a serious force this year.
I mean, it's the 4th game of the season. It's ridiculous to put pressure on anybody, but it feels like quite a big game, this, because of Oldham's start and Chesterfield's racing start.
Well, I think that 2 big clubs in this division, 2 well-supported clubs in this division, 2 teams what are expected to do well in this division. So obviously Chesterfield have got off to a good start, bit of confidence in the team. Cookie, for me, the best manager in the division. So, but Oldham have got a lot of time for Oldham. I'm hoping that they get promotion. By what means, I don't know. But they've got off to probably not a start what they would have liked, but they'll have a big following today. And Dave will get to his team. I think he's put a team out thinking they can score goals today. So I think he's going for it, and I quite like the look of the team.
Yeah, well, 2 managers, very experienced, particularly Cookie, obviously, in the lower reaches. David Unsworth at Everton in an academy setup, and now making his mark as a manager. There's the pre-match chat between the 2, and we'll hear from the 2 coaching staffs after this short break. Kick-off here at 12:30. The last time Oldham were here at Chesterfield, which was February, obviously last season, they took all 3 points. Devon Green's 6th-minute goal was enough for the Latics. That was actually the only home game all season where Chesterfield failed to score. I wonder who'll be the happier manager today. We'll hear from Oldham's assistant Steve Thompson after Paul Cook. Both are with Jeff.
Paul, with the start you've had, there's absolutely no signs of any playoff hangover. How hard is that to achieve? Is that the players? Is that something from you?
Well, it'd be a 3-month hangover, so there'd been some nights out, that's for sure, wouldn't it? No, I felt at Wembley we acquitted ourselves really well. I think as a club, when you go to Wembley, you can have no regrets. I don't think we had any. It's unfortunate in football, it can be cruel, and we were probably on the end of a cruel result. That's football. It can go for you, it can go against you. We've come away from there now. We've started the season in terms of result, good. In terms of performance, not so good. So the reality is there's a lot of work to go, but after 3 games for every team, I'm sure most clubs are saying exactly the same.
Steve, early days obviously, but it's been a slightly slower start than we expected. Why would you say the reasons were for the tough start?
Yeah, we travelled down to Southend. Everything that could go wrong in the game, it did. You know, we lost Will through the sending off, which was a little bit harsh in my words. We lost Wardy as well, who did his hamstring there. So, you know, on top of the injuries that we had at the moment, you know, we were trying to adapt to get different formations into the team, but you know, the players behind us couldn't fit them roles that we wanted to do. So, but every credit to Southend. You know, the pre-season and all the troubles that they've had, you know, they did excellent. You know, then obviously we come to Halifax, which was a big disappointment. But we've got to raise our game. You know, we're a big club in the. It's not non-league. I think it's like a 3rd division now. So we've got to make sure that, you know, we match the work rate and the endeavour when people come and play Oldham, and we've got the quality in it. So it was a bit of a wake-up call at the Halifax one. But the frustrating thing is, like I say, you know, against Aldershot we did excellent. Everything seemed to click together. But we've got a good group of players here, and like I say, hope they can take us where we want to go.
Given a significant investment, as head of recruitment, you know better than anybody what that's been. What are the expectations on the club this season?
I think it's gone a lot easier. I think players want to come to Oldham Athletic now. You know, we're a massive club. We shouldn't be in this league, but you know, it's up to us, the players, the staff. You know, we're getting great backing from Darren and Mr. Rothwell, and hopefully we can get the right calibre players into Oldham. You know, there's a lot of players in the league now who want to come to us. So we've got a great network of scouts that are working all over England and all that for us, so to make sure that we get the right players in.
Steve Thompson, David Unsworth's assistant, and before that Paul Cook, both with Jeff. Macca, on Oldham, given how well they did last weekend to kind of get the season going, were you surprised to see him slip up at home to Halifax in midweek?
Yeah, I was. Listen, Halifax are a good outfit, you know, so that was no easy game. But obviously, when you look at the beginning of the season, and there's a lot of talk about Oldham being one of the favourites, along with the likes of Chesterfield, and I think they'll be really disappointed with their start. You know, I think today is huge for them, because losing 3 games out your first 4 is definitely not going to be the start that David Unsworth and that the fans will be expecting or demanding. So it's a big game, but we don't need to get too carried away. It is the start of the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
And that's sometimes how it goes when you bring new players in. It takes a while to adapt and to adjust. So I don't think you should get too carried away, but unfortunately we know what football's like. People do.
Both managers have brought players in. You actually brought Liam Mandeville to Chesterfield, didn't you, your time here?
Yeah, and he's playing a lot better than he is now than he was for me. Probably I was playing him out of position, or I was a bad manager for it. No, he's done brilliant. He's really come on. He's one of the best players, and I've watched him a few times. But he always had that in his locker. For some reason, he done really well at Doncaster. That's one of the reasons I brought him in. And now he's like I say, he's fulfilling what I thought he had.
Yeah, he is technically a good player. I think that's fair. 3 goals in 3 at the start of this season. That's consistency, which you don't always associate with him.
No, but I think last season we did. I think we started to see that last season. He wanted to be the main man. He was, you know, ends up being player of the year for Chesterfield. Ends up getting double figures. And I think this year now he'll want to try and lead that team into the next, you know, into the higher division now. I think that having been here for 5 years, he understands what it's all about to play for Chesterfield. He understands what they need here.
By the way, Mac is having to shout over the crowd because they are serenading the man in between us two, Mr. Sheridan. Definitely a lot of love with you and the Oldham fans.
No, I've got a great relationship with always have. I've spent near enough 10 years of my career there, so I love them to bits, and they've always got behind me and always, even when I was doing poorly. So, listen, brilliant supporters, and I truly hope they go up this season.
Yeah, and a midfielder with an eye for goal, Brennan Dickinson, for instance, is perhaps the new version of you in that sense.
Yeah, well, I won't go that far. But no, seriously, he's a player who's played higher league, and he's always a player I've liked. Colchester and a couple of other clubs. Got a lovely left foot. I think he's still playing a bit of catch-up fitness-wise. So, no, he's a good addition, and he gives it that bit of balance being left-footed.
Yeah, no, he does. He does indeed. It might be how this starts. It's windy, it's bright, sun's in and out. Obviously, Chesterfield tails up at the moment with 3 wins, but Oldham are going for it with the team lineup.
Absolutely. And I think that they'll look at Chesterfield and know that they're conceding goals. Yes, they've scored 10, but they've conceded 6 goals already. So that will encourage the Oldham players to listen, go and step on. Can you assert yourself in the game? And can we get a foothold? If we can, all of a sudden we might be able to quiet this crowd down and start to impose ourselves. And listen, in James Norwood, they've got an out-and-out goal scorer. Yeah,
they have. There's plenty of goals on the pitch. We're certainly hoping, if not expecting at this early stage, to see goals in this early kick-off. It's bright and breezy in Derbyshire. 2 of the names, really, for this season in the National League about to go head-to-head in the sunshine. Kick-off here at the SMH is not far away now. Short break, after which, got some action for you. Well, welcome back. Love in the air at Chesterfield while John Sheridan's getting serenaded by the Oldham fans. This is Jamie a couple of minutes ago, a Chesterfield fan, going down on one knee to Bethany. He asked the question, and I'm delighted to say she said yes. So that's a nice start to the day, isn't it? They are newly engaged to be married, Jamie and Bethany. Congratulations to them. And of course, this the early kickoff in a big day. On the third weekend of this new season. There's the fixture list for the games that start later. Highlights of all the games, by the way, tomorrow on TNT Sport. But you can see Barnet, for instance, who've started well.
Miley saying, good luck, boys. Sarah says they've got spy rights in Zante, the Boma family, listening to the Oldham match from 𝓣𝓱𝓪𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Hopefully I pronounced that one right. My Greek's not so great. But hoping for a win for the spy rights. And Kerry is cheering on the boys from Filey as well. So adds also Paul Cook's Barmy Army. So I think Chesterfield fans out there in good spirits, as you say, sunny day. Let's hope for a fourth straight victory.
Well, 2 in Filey then. So if you both leap up off the beach and 100 yards apart, you'll know who's what. The changes, yep, Shackelford and Banks not being involved, and Oldacre and Shackelford being involved. Well, Shackelford's played 3 and won 3. You can't do much more than that, can you?
And we know Paul Cook doesn't really like to change a winning side, and I think he had to make a few changes. You know, Dobber out on Tuesday because of that plastic pitch, not wanting to risk him. Obviously, you're on your home ground. You know what to expect. The conditions, obviously, in your favour here. So I think Paul Cook's picked the team that he thinks is the one that's going to get in the win, and he likes to try and keep that consistency in the squad.
I know it's only 3 games into the season, 3 wins. Are the bookies been bonkers when they've got Chesterfield as odds on for promotion now? Odds on?
I think so. I mean, I do think Chesterfield will win the league. I've still got that hunch. I've still got that gut feeling, but it ain't going to be easy. Oldham aren't going to roll over today. You know, they were tipped to be challenging us all the way, and they'll want to prove today that they can challenge us all the way.
I was talking to Roy, who's been covering Oldham for 60. This is his 60th season. I've known Roy for 40 years or more or whatever, and he was saying that they're just lacking a little bit in midfield. So you know, Tom Naylor and Darren Oldacre, massive job for them if they're going to boss it really in that middle section.
Yeah, and like with any Paul Cook team, you know, it's all about trying to boss that midfield, dominate possession. That's what Chesterfield will try to do today in front of the home crowd. It was like that, wasn't it, last season when Oldham came here? Obviously Oldham taking the 1-0 victory after scoring that early goal, but it was a game really that Chesterfield dominated for the majority of the match. So I'd expect that kind of one-way traffic to you know, a very similar pattern of play today, but it isn't going to be easy because, you know, Oldham, they got some top defenders, Charlie Raglan, of course, former spy right in their team, so we know that he's not a shop egg, so to speak. So yeah, it's going to be a difficult one, I think, today.
Well, Josh will be keeping a close eye on social media at 1866 Sport on Twitter and 1866 Sport on Facebook page. So send all your messages there. We'll do some more at half time. Coming up next, it is Chesterfield against Oldham, favourites versus second favourites in the National League.
In need of vehicle.
Behind referee Matt Russell and his assistants Scott Taylor and Andrew Daniels. The Oldham side, Matt Hudson in goal, Kieran Freeman, Liam Hogan, Charlie Raglan, the former Sparrow, Mark Kitchen at the back. Another former Sparrow, Brennan Dickinson, Mark Shelton, Nathan Sheeran in midfield. And the attacking 3 players, Kurt Willoughby and Joe Nuttall, supporting James Norwood. On the bench for the Latics, Hobson defended, a couple of midfielders, Tullett and former Sparrow Garden, a couple of strikers, Reid and former Sparrow Fondop. For Chesterfield, Harry Tyra in goal. The back 4 of Raheem Shackelford, Ash Palmer, Jamie Grimes and Brandon Horton. A holding midfield pair of Darren Oldacre and Tom Naylor. Attacking trio, Liam Mandeville, Armando Dobra, Ryan Cogclough behind Will Grigg. And on the bench for the Sparrows, Tyrone Williams, former Latic Ollie Banks, Michael Jacobs, James Berry, who made his debut at Oxford City on Tuesday night, and Joe Quigley, who of course scored vital goal last time out here at the SMH Group Stadium. Jamie Hewitt's back after his holidays, and the first thing, Jamie, other than welcome back, hey, proper match, proper atmosphere.
Yeah, these are the games that are few and far between in the National League, I think, for Chesterfield and over the last few seasons. But good following from Oldham, another big club who unfortunately have found themselves out of the Football League. But big game today, a big game for both teams, I think. The way Oldham have started, scored a few goals, but been a bit unpredictable. Chesterfield probably conceded a few more than we'd have liked, but 3 wins out of 3, we can't moan.
And will the players, the 4th game of the season, will the players be thinking that this is a massively important game, or as Paul Cook always says, it don't matter when the match is anywhere in the season, it's only worth 3 points?
Exactly. I mean, it's not going to be decided today. Nothing's going to be decided. It'd be lovely for Chesterfield to get 4 out of 4 and get 12 points on the board and put a good bit of daylight between who the people who are predicting how the league will go are our closest rivals, I think, for this season. So, but you never know. There's plenty of other teams who'll want to say in that. But it'll be great to win. But as we saw last season, we beat Wrexham here and they went up. So it's not going to be decided today. But it'd be lovely to set a marker down, play some good football, and win this game comfortably.
Well, it's a lovely, colourful match today. We have got Chesterfield in their blue, white, blue kit, and Oldham. Well, when I first sort of started watching Oldham as a team when they came to Saltergate in the early 1970s, they used to wear this orange shirts, blue shorts, orange socks, and I've always liked that combination of colours. So very colourful today, very noisy, as I'm sure you can hear the Oldham fans over to our left. And Chesterfield will be kicking towards the north stand in this first half. Oldham will be kicking off. Charlie Ragland there, white boots, the former Sparite, just doing his last warm-up moments as the referee, Mr. Russell, gets us underway, and it's kicked forward by skipper Liam Hogan out to the left wing, goes out for a throw-in to Chesterfield in the right-back territory, and Raheem Shackelford will be moving towards that. Kept his place over and above Jeff King for all 3 matches this season. King came on as a substitute late on at Oxford City after Brandon Horton had tightened up a bit, but obviously he's shaken that off, but I'm sure a lot of that was to do with the pitch as Tyra right foots it down the inside right channel. Ragland gets there, heads it up towards the halfway line where it's picked up by DJ Oldacre, wearing number 8 this season, and out to Mandeville on the right, who wasn't really in the game in the 4-3-3 formation at Oxford City, but expect to see him a lot more today. And well, it's Colclough out on the right as well, so we'll look at that attacking 3 because it is always very fluid, but it does look as though it's going to be Colclough on the right, Mandeville in the middle, and Dobra on the left as Kieran Freeman, good right back, attacking thoughts, just puts Armando Dobra on his backside. The ball played forward towards Norwood, but it's too far and it runs all the way through to the cerise-kitted Harry Tyra, rolls it out straight away to Palmer, who just didn't quite win control of that ball for City's equaliser in the week, did he? And now Grimes, who was my man of the match on Tuesday, really solid. And this is his 100th appearance for Chesterfield in all competitions, Jamie Grimes. Ian Horton playing keep ball. About 68% of possession in the game so far Chesterfield have had, so expect them to have plenty of the ball. Phil Tooley and Jamie Hewitt here on 1866 Sport Live as Chesterfield still in their own half, looking for a gap, looking for an opening. The back 4 of Oldham very high up. It's played out towards Colclough on the right hand side. He got a touch to it, but he couldn't quite control it. But Jamie, the speed that Colclough got away from Mark Kitching at the left hand side was impressive there. It just slightly overhit the ball though. Yeah, he was in, wasn't he? He got I don't know whether I didn't see the fullback, whether he took his eye off him or whatever, but we know what Colclough's like when he's tricky, and he's very hard to play against when he's on his game and getting the ball. And I'd say that was probably maybe only just a foot in front of him, or he would have been in on goal behind the back line. So unlucky ball from Jamie Grimes. Good switch of play, and you can see Oldham was sitting back, letting Chesterfield have it at the back, and we were just looking for an opening. So it's going to be a big battle between, as the goal kick's taken by the green-kitted Matt Hudson. 2 goalkeepers used already by the visitors this season, and Shackelford picks up and starts a burst down the right hand side. He's got plenty of players square of him, not too much in front because of good coverage by the Oldham defence. He's now back with Grimes once more, not being pressed. He's 6 or 7 yards inside his own half, rolls it to Naylor, who's playing on the left of the 2 holding midfielders with Oldacre, the other on the right. Great atmosphere here at the SMH Group Stadium. Palmer rolls it to Grimes. Again, Chesterfield being patient, and that'll be the order of the day, you think, today. The favourites on the second favourites of the division as Horton gets it. Plays it infield towards Dobra. Good ball. Dobra's got 2 orange shirts around him, and I'm sure he'll have that for a lot. He's darted into the box. He's got it onto his right foot. He can't quite get the space to shot. Plays it to Naylor, who does shoot. And, well, he scored on Tuesday with his head. He didn't score with his foot on Saturday.
He just cut across the ball a bit, didn't he, and sliced it, and a bit high as well, leaning back. But good play, good ball, good spot from Horton into Dobra there. Who got that's Chesterfield's play. Just find gaps in between the lines of the 2 banks of 4 of the Oldham midfield and defence, and Dobra got in there well and looked dangerous. The guy tried to foul him, actually, I think. The 2 round him, one of them tried to clip his heels, but created a good space, just couldn't get the shot away, but good start from Chesterfield.
And it just shows what Dobra's about. There were 2 people trying to foul him, and they couldn't even catch him to foul him. Yeah. Headed forward by Palmer. It's going to go out to an Oldham for an Oldham free kick. And you say that bank of 4 at the back, they're playing a very high line at the back, aren't they? Which, when you've got the likes of Dobra and Coldclough and Mandeville to run onto, it can be potentially dangerous.
It can be, because they're coming from deep, and Will Grigg's quite an intelligent player. I mean, sometimes he doesn't look like he's in the game, but he's moving the defenders around all the time. So that could be a positive for Chesterfield.
Well, that goal that failed was an absolute go, and it's just not controlled by Oldacre, and it's played forward by Brendan Dickinson, but he's overhit that, and it's gone all the way through to Harry Tyra. No, that the goal he scored against failed. The anticipation on that. He started running into the position where the ball was likely to go from the back pass before I think the player knew he was going to pass it back.
Yeah, and that's part of being a good striker, is the anticipation, and he's found the back of the net twice in 3 games. So it's a good start for Will Grigg, and hopefully there's many more to come.
Yeah, and it's probably Oldacre's assist later at Oxford that might have got his place in today, and he's on the ball now on the halfway line. Played out wide towards Mandeville, who's got Coldclough even wider than him, and Coldclough drops his shoulder, beats one man. There's 2 blue shirts in the box, but it was a 50-50 ball whether he did have found one of them, so he pulls it back. And Chesterfield now on this near side. Dobra with the ball. He's got Brandon Horton outside. Oh, it just bounces over Horton's foot. Just took his eye off. I think he was looking where he wanted to put the ball in, wasn't he, Horton? Just took his eye off it.
Yeah, it was just a little bit behind him, wasn't it? And it wasn't the best ball, to be honest. I'll give Brandon Horton the benefit of the doubt there. Then it just kicked up off the turf and went over his foot.
It's on this near side with Nuttall for Oldham. His ball forward blocked by Oldacre, but it's gone out to Kitching on the far side, who crosses the halfway line now. He is a very good attacker. When Stockport won the league, he really gave Chesterfield some problems. It's pulled in field to Shelton, and he stabs it for Norwood, but Norwood couldn't bring the ball to heel. Moved down a couple of divisions from Barnsley, played nearly all the games for Barnsley last season. Similar, I suppose, to Tom Naylor, who played in the same level of championship for Wigan just about every match last season. It's now Grimes stepping forward. A little bit of a move in by Nuttall, but it was a half-hearted press from him. And oh well, is that a foul on Dobra? No. So referee Mr. Russell isn't going to stand for any nonsense, because, to be fair, Dobra did run at his man and hit him and fell over as Nuttall plays it into the centre. An opportunity for a run forward by Dickinson. Oh, and he's overhit that for the second time. It's gone out for a Chesterfield throw-in left back territory. And I assume you worked briefly with Brennan Dickinson when he was here last time round on loan from Brighton, wasn't it? I think?
Yeah, he was a decent player. He's a good player, and he'll be an asset to Oldham, obviously. And they've set their statement a bit like Chesterfield did with the signing of Norwood up front. So I would imagine these two have got probably the biggest budgets in the league, Chesterfield and Oldham at the minute.
Yeah, so it's not going to be far off. And loose ball from Oldacre there, headed into touch by Joe Nuttall, but it could have been a lot worse than that. So DJ puts his hand up and apologises to his teammates, but Grimes takes the throw in pretty quickly. And Charlie Ragland, of course, will have been here when Paul Cook gave Brennan Dickinson his first ever senior game. I think it was away at Bristol Rovers, if I remember, and he scored, didn't he?
Yeah, he was a good player. Charlie Ragland was a good player for Chesterfield, and he's a lovely lad. He's a lovely lad, yes. Charlie.
I think he was very unlucky in his time at Chesterfield. Could have played a lot more games, and it's proved it. He's come from Cheltenham Still Chesterfield trying to build from the back. They're still in their own half. They're still clocking up the possession percentages, but not the dangerous balls into the box. We've had a shot from Naylor. It was high and wide, and Chesterfield have had the ball for a lot more of the opening 8 minutes than Oldham have, but it's still goalless. You're listening to 1866 Sport Live with national windscreens. Oldacre on the halfway line, plays it across the halfway line to Naylor. Now he spots Horton running down the left-hand side. Horton controls it well. Good challenge in, and that's going to go out for a corner kick, the first of the game to Chesterfield. So those in West 7, there's a healthy contingent of people who aren't interested in sitting on the blue seats, let's say, that are cheering Chesterfield on in this corner, as is often the case when there's quite a few away fans in the North Stand. I think probably Oldham will be the only team that do have away fans in the North Stand this season. So Mandeville's back on corner kick duty. Out to the far side, Jamie Grimes, who's set himself a target of 5 goals this season, couldn't quite get there, cleared away by Oldham. Horton picks it up, he's now with Dobber again, just outside the 18-yard area on the left-hand side, in field towards Oldacre. He's going to shoot, surely. It's taken a deflection, it's going to go out for another corner kick. That was a good block from Oldham. There's plenty of pace on that Oldacre shot, but the defender did what he's paid to do and blocked it.
Yeah, blocked the shot, which he had to do, but good play from Chesterfield into Dobber again. They're obviously worried about him. They're getting 2 out all the time, and he's a good ball in field to Oldacre, but our shots so far have been just outside the box.
And every Oldham player back as the corner comes in. That's poor clearance from Oldham, but it fell kindly for them, and Nuttall puts it into touch on the far side. That could have gone anywhere, that miscue at the back. I think it was Liam Hogan throwing then dead opposite where me and Jamie Hewitt are. And Shackelford's got the ball in his hand in front of block E2, which is only about 25% full. But the ball played for, that was trying to pick out Colclough, and it was again partially cleared, and Grimes has to whack that under pressure from the rapidly advancing Nuttall. It's gone out for a throw into Oldham left back territory for them, still goalless. And Chesterfield fans, Oldham fans, drum at each end. Yogi's got a new drum apparently today. I don't know if it's a new drum or a new drum to him.
Yeah, I saw that this morning on social media. It says he's trying out his new drum. Doesn't know how long it'll last, I think.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what I meant. Have you just bought a poor quality one or what? Didn't sound very promising, did it?
No.
Ball delivered left by Oldham, but Grimes is in the right place again and just nods it down to Naylor, lifts that up into the air, and just a hopeful ball. And anyway, it's cleared back to Naylor, who puts a much better one out to Horton this time. He's got space, but he's only 10 yards inside the Oldham half. Cuts it back to Naylor, lets the ball do the work, twisted his body, and the ball played back to Grimes, and now from the halfway line by Naylor back to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's settled in really well. Ryan Boot joined me on the commentary at Fylde last week and was speaking very highly of the Everton loanee. It's with Palmer, green boots, just inside his own half, back to Grimes. And he's touched it more times than anybody in this game so far. And he's up to the halfway line now. He's got Horton in space on the left. And, he's played it infield to Dobber, and then he's played it to the overlapping Horton. And a great piece of play by Sheeran. Puts the ball into touch. Talking of Chesterfield and Oldham and former manager, I've spotted John Sheridan here today. I don't know if he's doing anything on TV, but the ball played in towards and that's ricocheted onto Naylor and turned out being a shot that was never going to trouble the goalkeeper, but it was played in for Grigg. Raglan got a touch into it and it hit Naylor and looped up, and just momentarily you thought, is that going to give the goalkeeper some trouble? But it went wide. No, John Sheridan here today. He was in the tunnel, so I assume he must be doing something on the televisual sort of thing. And thanks for choosing to listen to us. If you're syncing up with the pictures, well done. People tell me it's easy to do, but I'm always here. I've never had the opportunity to do it. So as Grimes heads that forward offside as it comes back from Oldham Athletic. 12.5 minutes played, goalless. Sparrites versus Latics. Two teams that first played way back in the early 20th century. Chesterfield generally got a pretty shocking record at Boundary Park. But of late, generally the away teams have done better. Chesterfield 2-0 winners at Boundary Park last year, 2 very early goals. And Oldham scored relatively early to win 1-0 here despite being pummeled for most of the game. And Grimes overhits that for Horton. It's gone out for a throw-in right by the corner flag. So it's an opportunity for Chesterfield, Jamie, to press on the throw.
Yeah, that's always better than a goal kick, isn't it? 'Cause it's right in the corner, so Chesterfield will just do their high press in and try and get possession of the ball further up the pitch.
Kieran Freeman is the man with the ball up his jumper. It's in his hands now, and he's confident with the length of his throw. He's beckoning everybody to move back, and he finds Norwood. Norwood's touch falls for Sheeran, but that was a bit of a nothing pass from him and dealt with by Grimes. And now Shackelford sets off down the right hand side. There's a line of 4 Chesterfield attackers in front of him, but there's an orange shirt right in front of him, so he turns and lays it back, and it's Naylor on the ball out wide to Shackelford once more. He's still in the Oldham half, but not in a dangerous position at the moment. Now, if Naylor can see Horton, and if he can see him, he's only going to deliver a 60-70 yard ball across to him, but it's with Grimes. Horton's drifted back from his attacking space, and Oldacre's got 3 orange shirts around him. He has to be quite nifty there, and he gets the ball back from Grimes and out to Horton now. An opportunity to play it in, and it's found Clough-Chester down to Dobra, left corner of the 18-yard area. He tries a shot, and I'm not sure if it was an under-hit shot or he was trying to pick out Will Grigg. Neither quite worked, and it's headed back by Oldham to their own goalkeeper, Hudson. And the sun's shining here. There's a bit of breeze as well, but nice day, probably 20-21 degrees or something like that, so nice day for football. That breeze will just keep it from being stiflingly hot as the Oldham goalkeeper kicks that right-footed, and underneath it is Ash Palmer, and Palmer and Norwood together. Neither will get a clean contact, but Palmer did get it through to Oldacre, who couldn't maintain position, and Kitching is moving down the left-hand side. He's down by the corner flag now for Oldham. Decent cross comes in. Norwood's got a header. And it was only just wide. As a few of the Oldham fans thought that was in. But I tell you what, Jamie, to have got that in would have been an absolute brilliant header, because he'd got no angle to try and change the direction of the ball at all. He did well to get there.
Yeah, he got across Ash Palmer, but he was well outside the near post. I mean, it would have been as you say, he had to put some power in the header as well. It wasn't like it was just a glancer going for the far corner, so it would have been a terrific finish. But a bit of a warning for Chesterfield. We know what Norwood's got, a good pedigree and good movement in the box. He scores goals.
And we know that Kitching's always willing to get a cross in as well, and that was a lovely cross. Naylor inside his own half. Some 3 subs from either side warming up just down in front of us. That was the little crescendo of noise that you might have heard there, wondering what was happening. Well, it's some subs are out running around and waving the legs. That's it. They cheer anything these days, don't they? Anyway, Mandeville's come a little bit further back than normal to try and fetch this. Plays it across to Shackelford. Drifts it down the right hand side. It's just taking a deflection. He didn't quite pick out Oldacre, who'd pushed forward. Oldacre trying to win the ball back. He's won a throw in on the far side. Good work from Oldacre there to press. 16 minutes and 4 seconds, it said on the big screen in the corner. 0-0 underneath it. And Shackelford throws it into Mandeville, and the ball hits Mandeville on the chest and goes out for a goal kick. I think Mandeville was too close to the goal line to be able to do anything from that. With the angle the ball was coming in, he was always going to chest that straight out, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a tough one. He got a little nudge as well, a bit of a body contact off the Oldham player, which made it impossible for him. And it was, you say, it was the angle of the throw. It was just too close to the line. It was hard to keep in, but Oldacre, great pressing to get the throw there. And to be fair, Will Grigg put the centre half under a lot of pressure, and it was again pressing as a team rather than individuals, which is what Chesterfield have done for the past while Paul Cook's been here. To be fair, it's a big part of his game.
And of course, he's now got largely his own squad, and he's got them to his fitness standards that he demands as well. And you can see that. You could see that at Oxford. I know they were part time, but in this day and age, everybody's fit. As the ball rolled to Mandeville in the 10-yard circle, knocks it back to Oldacre, who's moved over to the left now. Has he switched with Naylor, or is it just on this particular move? We'll keep an eye on that. Horton's breaking down the left-hand side. He's already only about 5 yards from the corner flag. Pulls it back to Dobra, who he lets the ball do the work. And it does look like Oldacre's switched to the left and Naylor on the right of that holding. Naylor plays the ball in. It's fallen for Horton just outside the box. He's cut into the box. It's on his left foot. He's going to deliver that one in towards the far side. And Clough stoops and gets a header in, and it's caught by the goalkeeper Hudson. But you could see the fullback Horton there thinking, shall I shoot with my wrong foot? And then he decided, no, I think I'd be better to try and cross it. And it was a good cross. Clough sort of stooped down to get it. Plenty of power on it, but it was straight at the keeper.
Yeah, it was a tough header. It was just behind him, wasn't it? It was just reaching behind him with his head to try and guide it on target. But he's getting some good positions, Brandon Horton, to be fair.
They wind held that kick up from the goalkeeper and just picked up by Grimes and knocked back to his goalkeeper. Tyrone Williams back in the squad after picking up that tight hamstring at Fylde. Went off at half time to be replaced by Ash Palmer. And out wide right to Shackelford. Still inside the Chesterfield half. Yeah, it is a permanent switch, isn't it? Naylor has moved right and Oldacre left. Have you any thoughts on why that might be, Jamie, as the ball goes back to Tyrone?
No, at first I thought it was just a passage of play where they ended up on that side, because I think we've got that with the two sitting midfielders. They are both can play either side and move about. It's like the three just in behind. They often change positions, but it looks like they've swapped it now, as you say, permanently. I thought it was a passage of play at first, but I don't know why they'll have done it. No, they must have got some instructions off the sideline and seen something in it, why they've moved around.
Yeah, because the front three, the fluidity will be almost make your decisions on the pitch yourselves, won't it? But when it's you standing in front of your back four, and that's a lovely ball towards Colclough, who's beaten the offside. Beat the offside trap, chested it down, but then just got his left foot to it and just rolled the ball into touch. But that's the second time that Colclough's got away from his markers. This was inside left position rather than right wing where he did before, and that just shows his speed of thought. Yeah.
I mean, we know he's a clever player, but the three behind now have swapped, haven't they? Colclough's in the middle, or did he start in the middle?
No, he started on the right.
So he's in the middle now.
We need to draw little pictures.
See where they started. But he started in the middle, and that's where he made that run from. And he did exactly the same run from the right. So it's that interchangeability again, isn't it, on the of the team, which is good because it's hard to mark. And if they stand still in the same positions, you're easy to mark. But moving around like we are doing, it's making it a little bit tough for the Oldham midfield and defence.
Yeah, Mandeville on the right now. And I assure you, 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 still on the left and Colclough in the middle. But Colclough's just made a tackle right on the left wing. He looks as though he just banged his back as well. He's rubbing his back. Throw in to the Latics. Freeman is going to take it. Another good full-back. Taking it a walk a little bit, but he's waiting for somebody to move. Nathan Sheeran is the man who eventually comes into position. He clears it. And that was just a hopeful punt upfield. And I think I said that the last time Sheeran got the ball as well. And Horton clears it. Hits the shins of James Norwood, who was having a good conversation with Paul Cook when Oldham Athletics team bus arrived. Do you know why that might be, Jamie?
No, I don't know.
Obviously, Norwood played for him at Ipswich.
Oh, did he?
Yeah.
I was going to say, obviously, they've both been in the Championship, whether they knew each other from there, but I didn't know he played for
I'd forgotten he'd played for Ipswich
before
he went to Barnsley, but no, he played for Cookie at Ipswich.
Okay. Well,
so
hopefully we've got a bit of inside information into that.
Yeah, and of course with Raglan there as well, playing, Paul Cook will know a little bit of that. Banks will have played with one or two of these players at Oldham. He's on the bench today. Ollie Banks as Chesterfield try and win the ball back, but Oldham do well and keep it down the left-hand side, and they've got an opportunity with Kitching to get the ball in. We do know he likes to put a cross in, which he has done. Just slightly overhit was to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and there's a bit of work had to be done at the back by Chesterfield, and all of a sudden they've got an opportunity to break. Just slightly overhit by Grigg to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's got the ball and he's kept it in, but just lost the momentum a little bit, and it's 3 blue shirts against 5 orange shirts now. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's just outside the corner of the 18-yard area, puts that behind Oldacre, but Oldacre manages to get it. He's played it to Horton on this left-hand side, but it's 4 defence, 4 midfield for Oldham already, and it's the orange lines are back. But that's a good ball from Naylor to Mandeville, who takes a tumble. No foul there. Clear was no foul. He just tripped over his own feet, and it's rolled out to Freeman on this near side. Back to Charlie Raglan, and Freeman's just been dispossessed by Oldacre. Good play from DJ there, and it's now Naylor. That's got the Chesterfield fans excited because it's in the final third where it needs to be. Oldacre, he's got Horton overlapping, but he's going to... Oldacre judged to have been fouled there by Sheeran. Not sure if I'd have been referee, I would have given that one.
I didn't think it was. I thought he nicked the ball off him. Just as he lifted his head up to pass it, I thought he nicked the ball. I mean, obviously we'll take it as Chesterfield side, but I didn't think that was a foul. The ref saw, when they had this move just down here before, Will Grigg spun off the defender brilliantly and he just tugged him back on his shirt. The ref saw it. I'm surprised he's not having a word, actually, because he did nod and say play on.
So Mandeville is going to take it. The referee's drawn a wall line just inside the corner of the 18-yard area, but the wall is James Norwood. He's a big lad, mind.
He's two.
Yeah, he's certainly worth 2 Dobras. So Mandeville. Whistle goes, plays this in towards the penalty spot, headed up into the air by Liam Hogan. It's still in the penalty area, but it's going to be cleared away by Kurt Willoughby. And, straight into touch for Chesterfield throw. And it was Grimes on the right wing pressing that to force the kick on Colclough, who we saw holding his back. He's down at the moment. The referee come to check over him. He's calling Ben Partridge on. Well, that's not what Chesterfield want to see. He's one of the most dangerous players in the division, down, sitting on his backside. Let's see what Ben Partridge does here. 24th minute. You're listening to 1866 Sport Live with National Windscreens, a local company with the national network. And, well, Ben's working on his leg, isn't he? So it's not the back that he was rubbing earlier on.
No, I thought it was like when it was rubbing, it got a bang on his hip or the top of his pelvis, as you say, like lower back, top pelvis. But he doesn't look, it looks more lower leg, doesn't it, that he's working on. But you don't want that from Colclough because he's a match winner, isn't he?
Oh, absolutely.
He can turn a game. He's just put his thumb up, I think, Ben Partridge.
All right, good spot. Good spot.
And now he is stretching his back.
Yeah, it's moved up. Yeah.
So he's treated his ankle and now he's but I saw Ben Partridge stick his hand out to the side with his thumb up, so hopefully that's all good news for us and Ryan Colclough's okay.
Well, I always think back years and years and years ago when Steve Blatherwick, he used to have sciatica, didn't he? And he always used to be stretching his back like that at every given moment. So anyway, I don't think Paul Cook seems too concerned. He's certainly not shouting Berry or Jacobs, who are warming up down by the corner flag. So he's still holding his hip, he's holding his leg. He's falling to bits. Anyway, away we go again, and Chesterfield play the ball back to Harry Tyra. 25 played, goalless. Tyra. Well, there's nobody coming to press him, so he's just... Well, the referee's not letting Colclough back on just yet. I think Tyra was hoping that if he waited enough time, and Chesterfield just got into a lazy little mode there. They're risking losing the ball, and they have lost the ball. Colclough's still not been allowed back on the park yet. And I think, is it 30 seconds? I think there's a new thing that if you're off, you've got to be off for 30 seconds or something, isn't it? Something like that.
Is that I
think I've read that somewhere. As good play from Horton at the back there to let the ball roll out for a goal kick to Chesterfield and not let the Oldham man get anywhere near it, Kurt Willoughby. So, Colclough's back on. He's moving over to the right again. So does that mean Mandeville's back in the middle? I suspect so. Well, that fluidity is a big part of Chesterfield's game. And Naylor has to pass that back to Tyra under pressure a little bit from the Oldham midfield. And now, I was just going to say, Dobra's about to flick it over Charlie Raglan, but hey, Raglan's a good player, the man Chesterfield got from Port Vale, and he puts it into touch for a Chesterfield throw-in. James Berry, that'll be your first view of him, I would think. Jamie, it looks like stick a bucket hat on him, I mean, he could be in the Smiths. Or
well, if he can sing
Stone
like that,
Roses or something, yeah.
Well, he'd not be playing for us if he could sing like that, would he? But yes, I saw obviously the pictures and everything, and I was back off holiday for the Tuesday game, but I came back that day, so I was listening.
He likes a direct run, and just over hit forwards from Mandeville, goes out for a goal kick. 27th minute. What's your reading the game so far, Jamie?
I think it's a decent game. It's a good game. You can tell the two well organised, good teams. I think Chesterfield have been on top with possession-wise. No keeper's been tested. Chesterfield will just be wanting to change that possession maybe into chances and crosses in the box. But Oldham are a bit like last season. They're better than they were last season, I think, but they've got 9 behind the ball when Chesterfield have got it. They're very disciplined and know what they're going to do. They're trying to get that first goal, catches on the break, and then hold on to it, I think. Yeah,
they've set out that they're settled for a 0-0, haven't they? For sure. But obviously they want to do better than that. But yeah, they are. Those 2 fours are there, and it's out on the far side. Will Colclough, his first touch after being treated, is getting some. No foul given there. I thought that was a foul on Shackelford, but Oldham are breaking down the left-hand side. And Kitching's got the ball, plays a decent ball into the middle, but it's headed away by Palmer. Seconds is picked up by Mandeville, but it doesn't go too far. It's dropped for Mark Shelton, but Shelton, pressed by Oldacre, can't get the first ball he wanted to get in, and Kitching's got Shackelford at his shins. Shackelford wins the tackle. It's gone out for an Oldham throw. So good defending from Chesterfield on a couple of phases there.
Yes, good header out because Norwood was lurking. He gets in those good positions, and then Shackelford defended Kitchen very well on the other side. But from the break, I thought it was a foul on Colclough. I thought he had his arms all around him and pulled him down. But the ref
I thought Colclough and Shackelford were two fouls.
But, the ref letting quite a lot go at the minute.
Yeah, well, if he lets them all go, at least you know where they are, don't you? A cross comes in from Oldham. Oh, it's going to cross the face of the 6-yard area. Only about 2 yards outside the goal. It's picked up on this near side by Nuttall. Drops it back to the fullback Freeman, who's probably the furthest forward he's been in the game so far. Chip back to him, who's still up by Shelton. Freeman gets the crossing. It's taken a little bit of a deflection. Shackelford heads away. It's going to be picked up by Shelton first, is it? Yes. But Chesterfield battling well with Will Grigg. Oh, Grigg's done brilliant there, and it forces Oldham to play it back to their own goalkeeper. So you talk about defending from the front, and that was the handbook of it, wasn't it?
Yeah. Good contest between the two players, actually. Both strong, trying to push each other off the ball, and but as you say, Will Grigg got rid of the danger, made it go in there, because that was probably the best chance of the game there for Oldham.
Mark Shelton screws that into touch for a Chesterfield throw-in. Horton takes it, plays it back. Oh, and that's just a little bit short to Grimes, but Grimes anticipated it and passes it to Oldacre. Now Mandeville in the 10-yard circle. Oldacre once more. Almost half an hour played here, 0-0. Tight game. Chesterfield bossing possession, but a couple of really good crosses in from Oldham Athletic. They've delivered the more dangerous balls into the box during the course of the game. The ball played forward towards Mandeville. I'm following the flight of the ball, and it didn't appear out of a couple of Oldham players because it was blocked, and Chesterfield pick it back up, lay it back to Tyrant, and start again from the back with skipper Jamie Grimes. Captain's armband on his left biceps, rolls it across to Naylor. Shackelford just inside the Oldham half now. Naylor again offering himself, as he so often does. Rolls it in towards Colclough. Great little intercept there by Shelton, though, to turn the ball over for Oldham. They're still in their own half, and good battling from Mandeville forces Oldham back. And Hogan chips it up towards the halfway line. Palmer beats Norwood in the air, but then Dickinson gets there first to the seconds, as it were. And the ball played back by Mandeville to his goalkeeper. It was the Oldham fans who were thinking that might have been a foul, and all of a sudden Horton's got the opportunity to attack down the left hand side. He's shoved over by Nuttall. That should be a book in there, because Horton was past him and it was just a deliberate shove from Joe Nuttall. Referee's not gone over to, I think he's checking Horton's okay, and well, Nuttall's going to be deciding to be defending as far away from the referee as he possibly can.
He's walked away, hasn't he?
Yeah,
I think
the referee running towards Nuttall, and he's certainly talking to Nuttall. Yeah, he's got the book out. And to be fair, the referee had no alternative there, because Horton was away from him, and he just cynically pushed him over.
Yeah, Nuttall was the wrong side of Brandon Horton then, and it's deliberate foul. He's just laid his hands on him, pushed him down.
I've got no problem the Oldham man doing it, because it saved the danger nearer the halfway line, the 18-yard area. But anyway, the referee made the right decision in the end, and Dobra plays it out to Horton once more. Dobra's got two men on him again, and Oldham and a bit of a sign of the rude variety from Norwood towards the Chesterfield crowd there. I don't think the person on seat A3 is a banker. But yes, well, now the crowd are having a go at Norwood, quite rightly too, because he interacted with the crowd there, and I think that's a booking decision if the referee had seen it, but it was all blindside. No chance he would have seen it. Grimes on the ball once more, 32 on the clock, and Chesterfield just starting to step it up a little bit further forward there. They're still playing the patient possession stuff, but it's 25 yards further forward than it was earlier in the game. Shackelford 15 yards out. Well, it's 15 yards outside the box. Rolls it to Mandeville, who's straight away got Sheeran on his back, and it's cleared away by Oldham. And Palmer, offside flag goes there. And that was again, my first reaction wasn't to look to the linesman on that one. He's really close to the halfway line. The free kick's been taken immediately by Palmer, so it's as though the game hasn't stopped. And now Oldacre, edge of the 10-yard circle, rolls it to his fellow holding midfielder, Tom Naylor. Championship player last season, of course, like Will Grigg, like James Norwood. Shackelford, former Maidenhead United fullback, rolls it to Naylor. Palmer. Grigg on his own at the front, looking to try and receive from Grimes now. And Oldacre getting increasingly in the game. Oldacre plays it back to Grimes on the halfway line. Oldacre again, willing to take the ball wherever it is, and he's crossfielded it to Mandeville, who's a little bit further back than you'd expect, but he's got a yard or two to run. But straight away, Oldham do spot that danger and close it down. Back with Grimes again. 12 minutes of normal time to the break. Good turn from 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. He's out onto this near touch line. He back heels it to Horton. He's not going to right foot that though. Horton to a dangerous point. And 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 just outside the box, being marshalled well by Freeman. Forced backwards, back to Oldacre once more, and to Grimes again. Plenty of possession still for Chesterfield, but only really a stooping header from Colclough and a few hopeful punts. But it's Mandeville plays it out wide right to Colclough, who seems to have shaken off all his issues. He's got down to the byline. He's got a beautiful cross in. He's coming to Horton on his left foot, gets a shot in. Oh, and it's got over. He should have made the goalkeeper do some work there. It was a beautiful run and cross by Ryan Colclough and brought down well by Horton, but he just hit it when the ball was on the up, didn't he? And if it did have a nanosecond to wait a little bit longer for it to start coming on the downward movement as well, and he went about a yard over.
Yeah, it was just a bit high when he hit it, wasn't it? Looking from here, I mean, it wasn't far over. I don't know whether it just clipped the top of the bar. I'm not sure whether that was a keeper just flicking, but it was close. But as you say, it was just a bit high. So he just couldn't get over it enough, and the first touch just needed to keep it a bit lower. But great move. That was probably the best chance Chesterfield have had.
Yeah, and Colclough at his very best to create that opening as well. There's again 2 on 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, and Oldham come away with it with the man in the book. Nuttall plays it back to Freeman in the midfield to the very busy Shelton. He's the Tom Naylor, isn't he? He's got a similar look to Tom Naylor as well, and always in the right place, but not a good ball forward from Charlie Raglan. Goes out for Chesterfield throw in the Sparrites' left back territory. So Horton takes it, throws it to his goalkeeper. Can't pick it up direct from a throw in. Rolls it out to Palmer, still inside the Chesterfield 18-yard area. And quite advanced is Shackelford, who receives 4 blue shirts in front of him. Oh, and played it forward towards Will Grigg, who again had gambled and got behind the back line without an offside. Free kick to Chesterfield on the halfway line, but the ball just not quite lofted enough for Grigg to be able to get onto that. Free kick taken short, and now Oldacre on the halfway line. He can see Horton, who's really starting to create some problems down this left hand side. He's brought it in towards 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, corner of the 18-yard area. Again, he's not able to find space to get a shot in from the box edge, but now Shackelford's in some space on the right. 4 blue shirts in the box. Oh, that was a low cross that hit Shelton and bounced clear for Oldham Athletic. And good challenge in from Oldacre. And the great battling from Chesterfield to get the ball back. Mandeville on the right-hand side. He's got Colclough outside. Plays it out to Colclough. Level with the edge of the 18-yard area, right-hand side. He cuts in onto his left foot. He's 30 yards out into 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's in the D. And again, Horton's in some space on this near side. They're struggling with him. He's got it onto his right foot. Crosses it. Comes back to Horton again after the block. And now the shot in from Colclough. Takes a deflection out for a corner kick. Once more, that's the most sustained period of pressure from Chesterfield, Jamie Hewitt.
Yeah, good pressure again. I mean, Brandon Horton's the ball at the minute down this side. He's got so much space and he's causing problems. Nuttall doesn't want to come back with him.
Anyway,
took it quick.
It is, and it's taken to Mandeville, back to 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 it was who took the corner kick. Grimes far side, back into the danger area, but there was no pressure on the goalkeeper. He had to move 2 or 3 paces back, did Hudson, to get that, but there was no blue shirt to really make it difficult for him.
No, unlucky. I mean, quick corner, caught Oldham a little bit there, but Jamie Grimes just needed to head it back to where the Chesterfield bodies were. It went just a bit too high over all the bodies where nobody could put any pressure on the goalkeeper.
Certainly caught me by surprise. You see 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 going there, but he often goes for the short one, and then he took it. Anyway, Grigg lays it off towards 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 after the goal kick had been held up in the wind. 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 into the box, but again he can't find any space to shoot, so he's forced outside. Plays it across to Shackelford. There's everybody bar Norwood in a defensive position for Oldham Athletic at the moment. So plenty of blue shirts behind Mandeville. And one of them's Oldacre, who receives. Referee in his way. Plays it short to "We are top of the league," shout the Chesterfield fans in West 7 to our left as Mandeville rolls it to Naylor. Closer to the halfway line than the edge of the 18-yard area, but just patient passing from Chesterfield. As Palmer plays it back to Grimes, and now Horton moves a little bit further back than he has been when he's been creating some difficulty. Oh, and 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 loses out there. He was looking where the ball was, and he didn't realise that Nathan Sheeran was coming up behind his shoulder. And, well, good work at the back from the Spartans to put the ball out for an Oldham throw. But again, you just can't relax, can you, at all, Jamie?
No. I mean, Oldham aren't going to give Chesterfield any space in this final third of the pitch. They've got a bank of 4, then a bank of 5, and then Norwood is even dropping deep sometimes. They've got a game plan to stifle Chesterfield's play and trying to get in the spaces.
Nice take from Norwood, and he's Norwood plays it over. It was Nuttall who put the ball in to Norwood, who got in behind the Chesterfield defence there and tried to chip the goalkeeper, but the moment it left his boot, you knew it was too high.
Yeah, it was a surprise, and he took that option. I know it's a split-second decision, but he took the keeper by surprise. I thought he was up too far over this side. I thought he left a big gap the other side of the net, and I thought he's just going to slide it in there, but luckily he went for the chip that he got wrong.
Yep, for all Chesterfield's possession and territory, the best chances really falling to Oldham, although the Horton chance was a great one for Chesterfield a few minutes ago. Oldham in possession in their own left-back territory with their left-back Kitching, who's tackled by Colclough, and the ball's gone out for a throw-in to the Latics on the far side. Of course, we're in the top flight back in the 90s, got to the FA Cup semi-final, didn't they? Took Manchester United to a replay, if I remember.
Yeah. Is it? Are these the only Premiership club to come down to the National League, is it?
Yes. Yeah, and of course Luton have done it the other way around.
Yeah.
So it gives us all hope. And very much Oldham in a Luton-style kit today, aren't they?
Yes, very much so, yeah.
So I wonder if that's what's given them the influence to return to that, as Horton rolls it infield towards 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, but a good intercept from Freeman, but a poor clearance from Sheeran. Chesterfield win it back. It's Grimes inside his own half, plays it short to Naylor, short to Palmer, short back to Naylor, still by the halfway line. 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's calling for it, but he's got Sheeran with him, although Sheeran leaves him alone now, but the play is over on the far side, the Chesterfield right. Got scored in the 45+1 at Oxford City on Tuesday night, with that corner from Berry finding Tom Naylor for his first ball. Kept him well by Grimes, finds Horton. Now 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 again, 2 men straight away on to him, releases it quickly to Horton as 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 wins it back once more, drops his shoulder, he's on the corner of the 18, plays it out to Horton, cross comes in this time, it's come out to Oldacre, can't find space to shoot, but he's played it to Shackelford and knocks it back towards Mandeville, cleared by Oldham and up towards Norwood, and well, Grimes does just enough to prevent Norwood from getting by him, but Norwood is on the ball on the halfway line. Great tackle in there from Tom Naylor. He's taken a bang on his leg as he did that, but my word, sometimes you don't need to be anywhere near the goal to lift your own fans, and tackles like that help.
Yeah, that was a great tackle. I mean, you can see the quality of James Norwood. He looks dangerous when he gets the ball. I know he's up near the halfway line there, but to say he's quite a big build. He looks quite nippy as well over those first few yards and can drop the shoulder and run with the ball. But what a great tackle that was. You say the crowd appreciate a tackle like that. It was a very brave tackle. Say he got a bit of a knock doing it, but he's up again now.
Bob Newton, that's what he reminds me of. Norwood.
He's a bit quicker than Bob, to be honest.
Well, I'm 63 now, Jamie, and I'm quicker than Bob. Ball put into touch by Oldham. Throwing just in front of Paul Cook, although I think the way that the Chesterfield box kicked that ball, I think they're expecting at least 15 yards to be stolen. See if the referee did notice where it went out. Yeah, he did, to be fair. Well done, ref. 0-0. You're listening to 1866 Sport Live with National Windscreen, Spirit sponsors since 1986. 2.5 minutes of normal time remaining. We're not going to get oodles of stoppage time at the end of this half. We've had one booking one physio on.
So only about 10 though.
Yeah, 10 or 12, yeah. Well, it was a bit of a shock at the end of that Dorking match when we got 13. I tell you, especially since I had a couple of cups of coffee at half time.
I was sat on the beach listening. Actually, me and the wife were listening on the beach, and it did make me giggle when I heard you just say, "Dave, get on with it."
It's Grimes in his own half. It's been a feature of this game. Chesterfield patience just inside their own half as it's released towards Horton on the left-hand side. He's only Grigg in the middle, but Horton's got it down by the corner flag, 5 or 6 yards in from that. Plays it to 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰 just outside the box, and again he's just been thwarted from trying to find some space to shoot because he does like a shot. Naylor picks out Horton, left-hand side. Oh, that's overhit by the Chesterfield left-back and goes out for a goal kick. And frustration on 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓷, there you can see, as he was hoping to get the ball back, hands on his head, looking up into the skies. And it is a goal kick going to be taken by the man wearing number 13, Matt Hudson, who's walking slowly towards the right-hand side of his 6-yard area. And Paul Cook in his black training kit, just barking out some orders to the midfield of Chesterfield in this 4-2-3-1 formation. And Nuttall takes a tumble. Chesterfield turned the ball back, and that was nice of Tom Naylor, who he tumbled over as he went for a header just to come and check he was okay. As Oldacre plays that towards Grigg, it's just a bit too far and goes all the way through to Hudson, but good spot. And again, Grigg was starting to make that run, wasn't he, to try and get beyond Charlie Ragland in that instance. 25 seconds of normal time remaining. Fourth official Harry Jones will be plumbing his ball in as we speak. There's the ball kicked from out of his hands by the goalkeeper. He doesn't get caught up in the wind this time, as he has done the last couple of times he kicked it out of his hands. But Grimes gets the ball. Colin Profit and Billy Dean and former Sparrites just go past as Oldham turn the ball over, and they've got opportunities for a little bit of danger. Willoughby just outside the box plays it to Dickinson. And the ball crossing the centre again, and didn't quite fall for Nuttall. Good piece of play. 2 additional minutes, and Chesterfield with a chance to break forward now after a little bit of poor defending from the Sparrites, really. And it's played to Grigg on this near touch line. Gets a throw. No, there's some afters there by Shelton on 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓷, and Shelton is put in the book. Yeah, it could have been worse than that because he deliberately went for 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓷 well after the ball had been delivered forwards.
Yeah, I'll totally honest, I didn't see it totally. I didn't see what he did, but it's, if he's doing that off the ball, it's you're giving the ref a decision whether it's yellow or red.
I think probably yellow was right, but anyway, it's Horton who's on the left side of the 18-yard area, plays it in towards Grigg. Great piece of defending. Right, Chesterfield have got a corner. They score from a corner exactly this time on Tuesday night. It was Tom Naylor that put it in from James Berry, and this time Berry on the bench. It's going to be Liam Mandeville to take this. 46:03. The clock has just ticked over. So can Chesterfield strike twice? Is Lightning going to set fire to Will Grigg as the ball comes in from Mandeville? Oh, he's overhit that one. That was never going to trouble anybody. Goal kick. Disappointing. And Liam Hogan, he's saying he was shoved off the ball as well. He's appealing to the referee to do something. And I was following the flight of the ball, so I didn't see anything there. Referee Matt Russell and his card out twice today. Joe Nuttall and Mark Shelton. So, well, you know, Hogan looks as though he's in a little bit of difficulty, but the physio not being beckoned on. So goalkeeper and referee still checking the Oldham captain, the former Stockport man. We've had all bar 5 seconds of the 2, but there'll be another minute to play.
Is it his boot he's doing? He's undoing his boot and putting his boot back on.
Very complicated these days. They just seem to pull them on and don't unlace them and everything. Well, it's been faffing around for a while, and maybe that's just a bit of experience making sure
they get to half time.
Yeah, and I get that.
I mean, I see with the passage of play that Oldham had down there when Chesterfield caused a bit of their own problems, and then Chesterfield broke away. I think both teams would take 0-0 at the minute. They don't want to go in 1-0 down.
No, absolutely. And well, we're all back and ready, so it's 47.5 on the clock. Oh, by the way, the clock is running over 45 now. There's been a change in, and it looked like a foul on Grigg, but not given. There's been a change in rules or interpretation in the EFL that you can run because of the additional extra time. You can run over 45 now, and we saw it at Fylde as the referee blows for half-time. We saw it at Fylde where it ran over. I checked at that point, and even though it's not a National League rule, the National League are relaxed about it, and I mentioned it to John Crook and Pete Whiteley, and here we go, we're running on, so it's very, very useful. Jamie, 0-0 at half-time, your thoughts?
I've enjoyed the game, to be honest. I think Chesterfield have had, as we would think, the majority of possession. It has been the majority of pressure in front of the back nine, I'd call it, of Oldham. I think Oldham have done a lot what they did here last year. They're a better team than they were last year, and they were scrapping to get away from the bottom four, I think, when they came here and got the 1-0 win last year. But they're still set up the same with 4 at the back, and they've got basically 5 across the midfield when Chesterfield are attacking, with the dangerous Norwood up front. But Chesterfield have played some nice stuff. As I say, keeper hasn't really been troubled. A few dangerous moments, as we say. Brandon Horton getting in some good positions. I think our main threat has been down the left with Brandon Horton. I think he's attacked very well today. I wouldn't be surprised if, I think the trouble is when 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷𝓰's coming inside, because he likes to come inside and curl those shots round, like we saw at Wembley. There's that many bodies in there because they've got a 4 and a 5. He's just running into bodies. I think Chesterfield's better option might be getting down the sides to the byline for the cutback, so I won't be surprised maybe if he switches 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷 the other side and brings Colclough over. He probably won't now, I've said that obviously, but I think when we're coming inside like we like to do, and I know Paul Cook likes to play with that and we've got the skill to do that, but you run into one body, another body, another body. Maybe just mix it up for 10-15 minutes the second half, try and get down the sides a little bit more, because Nuttall doesn't want to defend against Horton here, and he's getting so much joy going that way. And most of the players come down our left, and most of the dangerous play with Brandon Horton. So, but all in all, I think Oldham have probably, you'd say, maybe had the better 2 chances of the game. Not been in our half a lot. Chesterfield have had a lot of the ball, which we see a lot, obviously. Created a couple of half chances, but Oldham are set up to definitely not concede today after probably their 2 losses out of the 3 so far this season. But could be an interesting second half.
You've still got your chance to get your thoughts in at 1866 Sport on Twitter, 1866 Sport on our Facebook page, and Josh will be compiling those. And you know what? We'll hear those next, but we'll also be hearing about incarceration in the Carsey at our time with young Fred. It's 0-0 here at the SMH Group Stadium. Chesterfield 0, Oldham 0. Half time and second half coming.
Come and join them.
full match commentary for every Spirates home and away game.
0-0 here, tight game, and well, Josh, you know, it's a sort of chess game that you want to see. You want a proper contest. You want a proper stadium filled with proper noisy fans. You want your team to win, but it's been a good battle, hasn't it?
It has. There's been a few decent little battles out there on the pitch. You know, it was that very interesting moment, wasn't there, right in front of us, where Norwood went in a little recklessly on 𝓣𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Obviously, no foul given, because I think he just about got the ball, and he kind of gave a bit, didn't he, to the Chesterfield fans, and then just a couple of moments later he missed a header, and then everyone was on Norwood's back. So, yeah, very, very interesting. A little bit of needle to the atmosphere, which always makes for an interesting contest. But it's been one of those, hasn't it, where Chesterfield have, as expected, dominated the ball, tried to find the gaps, find the openings, but Oldham have been very resolute. You know, a couple of banks of 4 or 5 at times that Chesterfield are having to try and break down. And so far, you know, you have to give credit to Oldham. They've defended well, although I don't think Oldham's supporters are best pleased with the style of play they're displaying. You could hear a few chances directed in David Unsworth's direction at times for the lack of perhaps attacking impetus on their part. But yeah, so far it's set up, isn't it, for, you know, a very, very nervy second half, because all it takes from Chesterfield's point of view is one lapse of concentration, one mistake. As we saw, Oldham are quick to pounce when Chesterfield lose the ball. And they've had some very good chances, haven't they? That Norwood one that you just the chip over that referred to, and some 2 great crosses in from Kitching on the left-hand side, whereas Chesterfield say they'll be dominant on possession and territory, but Oldham are set up for the 0-0 and maybe nick one on the break, and it suits them. It does. You can see the game plan from their point of view. Try and soak up the pressure, almost lure Chesterfield in, get those fullbacks pushed up, as we know Chesterfield's fullbacks like to push up, and then catch them down the channels. It's not rocket science what David Unsworth's trying to do. It's probably what every team in this division will try and do against Chesterfield this year, because they know in a toe-to-toe battle of backwards and forwards, as you know, we've seen in previous games like the Dorking one, where it's basketball, 9 times out of 10 Chesterfield are going to come out on top in that situation. So yeah, Oldham's pragmatic approach isn't surprising, but as you say, working for them so far. Dan Gardner and Mike Fondop, 2 former Spirites, warming up on the pitch, the substitutes of Oldham, but Horton's been the go-to man, hasn't he, down this left-hand side? Yeah, he seems to be the spare man over when Oldham are set up in that defensive formation, and Chesterfield, you know, they kind of load up the right-hand side of the pitch, and all the bodies kind of go over there, but then Horton's always a spare man over here, and he's been crying for it every time, hasn't he, just you know, waving his arms at the players to say, switch it out here, and we've got a one-on-one with the full-back. But yeah, it's easier said than done trying to find him, because there's such a crowd of bodies in one area of the pitch. It can be sometimes quite hard, can't it, to pass it through all those bodies and find your pass, and the last thing you want to do is try and play a bit of a Hollywood pass, and then, as we say, get caught out on the break with our full-backs pushed too high up the pitch. So what are folks saying? So Shell's got in touch saying, once again listening in Darlington, loving the loud crowd, sunny here too, and I'm missing a pint of Stella or a gin and lemonade. Well, if you can, Shell, make sure you get yourself one. It might calm your nerves for the second half. Chesterfield FC Spain are tuning in from, guess where? Murcia. Oh, it's Spain, so close. Although Murcia is in Spain, so I'll give you that. Maybe they are in Murcia, they haven't actually specified. Yeah. We need to know Chesterfield, Spain. Yeah, whereabouts in España you are based. Joe Dart say, have Oldham got a permit to park their bus on the pitch? So, yeah, there you go. Joe Dart recognising the tactics going on. Hannah and Mike Clark are listening in from, hopefully I've got the pronunciation for this one right, Fethi in Turkey. They say, come on, you Spirites. Hopefully I've not butchered that, but I usually do butcher these foreign pronunciations. So Paul's listening in Salou with the kids. Come on, you Blues. He says, Tone is tuning in from the Greek island of Kos. Alan Unwin saying, no competition today, 3-1 Town, he thinks, but it's certainly a competitive battle out there based on the first half. Claire is in Mexico also saying, come on Town. Josh is listening in, and again, I'm going to butcher this pronunciation, I'll tell you that much. He's in Mevagissey? Yeah, Mevagissey in Cornwall. Mevagissey in Cornwall, that's where he is. Lovely spot. I'm awful at these pronunciations, but he says he's got a cracking view and will be celebrating in the ship later. come on town.
I think I've probably been in the ship at Memphis at some stage in the past.
I'm sure it's a gorgeous part of the world. I mean, the places I've been to Cornwall definitely are. My dad's got in touch, and my uncle Richard, they're listening from 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 in Greece today. They said they had a wildfire yesterday, but let's hope the Blues can ignite a spark in the second half. I don't know, maybe Will Griggs paid a visit to 𝓳𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰 recently. RJC says no complaints from other patrons in the Wheatsheaf pub in Chelmsford as I watch Chesterfield against Oldham. Whilst listening to the 1866 commentary, I'm hoping the Spyrights keep up the pressure. And Tim says Colclough has nothing to offer on the right. Will Grigg not involved at all. Taking too long to play out from the back, must do better. So Tim... I mean, probably quite rightly wanting Chesterfield to get on with it a bit, maybe take a few more risks in that attacking department and break that Oldham defence down, and I think that is going to be the key, just that little bit more zip into the Spyrights play to create those openings.
Anyway, 50,000 people saw a photograph that young Fred put out today of Bob Mortimer reading a card on Would I Lie to You, and I love Bob Mortimer on Would I Lie to You, because he sort of said, I once went to Oxford City and spent 20 or 30 minutes locked in the toilet before Spyrights police had to hand me a screwdriver to take the door handle off. You caught up with him earlier on, Josh.
I did, yeah. We're pleased to say Fred did make it out of the toilet alive, barely, by the skin of his teeth, by the sounds of it. But yeah, I managed to catch up with Fred to find out what happened on Tuesday evening. Well, I'm now joined by Fred. Don't know where to start with this, Fred. Just tell us what happened on Tuesday.
So it was Tuesday night away at Oxford, and a lot of people know now I got stuck in one of the toilets there, because obviously it's not like a town. It was just kind of on the back of a hedge, really, and there's like 4 portaloos, like all attached to each other, and I've gone in and I've tried to I've locked myself in, and when I've gone to get it back out, and I've twisted the thing, and it's just like snapped off. So I was in there for about 30 minutes. I missed the first 20 minutes, I think, of the game, which, nothing really happened, so I'm not that fussed anyway. But, first reaction, I was like, trying to kick the door down and stuff. And eventually, someone got the police, and, the Worcester Spyrights had many failed attempts of getting me out. Tried to, getting their keys in the lock and everything. But eventually, 25 minutes, they got a screwdriver. I've unscrewed all the bolts off the door.
Wow.
After that, I've got out and seen the rest of the game.
I suppose it's a bit of an interesting away day then, one you'll probably not forget for a long time.
Definitely one I won't forget. Obviously, we had filed the game before, and that was a good away day, but Oxford, I'm definitely not forgetting that one.
And what about the game itself then, when you did finally get out? A bit of a shaky moment when Oxford got back into the game, but must have been elation when Will Grigg scored that winner.
Yeah, I wasn't bothered at all. I missed the first 20, because I went in and my mates told me, you're lucky you're stuck in there. But yeah, it wasn't the best game, was it? Pitch didn't help at all. I feel like Cook's maybe not underestimated them, but gone with the wrong lineup. Too many attackers, and kind of only Naylor was only recognised centre mid.
And just going back as well to obviously after the game, you obviously put on social media the picture of Bob Mortimer, the Would I Lie to You. Where were the inspiration for that? I think you've gone a bit viral, haven't you, since?
Yeah, I was thinking, on the way back, I've got in the car and I was talking to my mate, saying I'll think of something funny to send to my mates, and then I thought, I'll just stick that on Twitter, and then I've switched my phone off, and then I've come back checked it the next morning. I've got 300 notifications or whatever on it.
Crikey. So what have you made of the start to the season then? 3 wins from 3 so far. Obviously this goes out at half time. Fingers crossed we'll be on course for a 4th by that point. But how have you found it?
Well, 9 points from 9, it's what you want in it, but at the same time, I feel like the defensive record's not been the best. Although, if we're winning, that's good, isn't it? But then there's definitely improvements to be made, I think. But, the signings have all been good, Tyra especially. Griggs obviously got a couple now, though. He's not really been in the games, but, he only needs one chance, doesn't he?
Well, it was young Fred, fresh from the Oxford City toilets. We're about to start the second half, and Chesterfield have made a change. Tyrone Williams coming on at right back for Raheem Shackelford. So he must have he had that sort of little clash, didn't he? Not very long before half-time, Jamie. But yeah, it looks like it's a straight swap, right back. And Tyrone Williams has played at right back quite a few times in his career with Solihull Moors and occasionally with Chesterfield as well. So it's Tyrer in goal for Chesterfield, Williams, Palmer, Grimes and Horton, then Oldacre and Naylor holding, Mandeville, Dobra, Colclough and Grigg. And for Oldham Athletic, Hudson, Freeman, Hogan, Raglan, Kitching, Dickinson, Shelton, Sheeran, Willoughby, Nuttall and Norwood as the referee gets us underway for the start of the second half. Chesterfield in blue, white, blue, kicking towards the south stand, the Cop. And the crowd today, Jamie, is 8,164. 8,164 with 1,388 from Oldham. So it just keeps on getting better and better on the crowd front, doesn't it? As Oldacre on the ball, rolls it to Naylor on the edge of the 10-yard circle. And we've got drums at both ends simultaneously being banged as Oldham put that into touch for a throw, Chesterfield half side. What was the coffee table talk?
Most of it was Oldham have come for a point with 4-5, and Norwood's even dropping in sometimes as well. But they've had the best chances. Oldham had the best couple of chances, and people think they've come for a point, but obviously trying to nick one on a quick counter, I think.
Well, glad to say that we all agree on that. I think that's how we all read the game, and it's always reassuring when other people see it the same way as you. So Oldham in orange, blue, orange. And they've got a throw in. Paul Cook's just had his cup of tea brought to him by young Connor Cook. And was it
sprinkler?
Oh, was it sprinkler? Was it up? I was going to say the referee's over on the corner of the 80-yard area and look at the grass. I don't know if you'd seen a rare butterfly or something.
I think the sprinkler hadn't gone.
Yeah, hadn't quite gone down right.
Yeah.
So anyway, the throw taken. Colclough is walking the chalk on this near side, the Chesterfield right, then Mandeville, and then Dobra over on the left-hand side. And Williams gets his first touch in, and it's an illegal one. Foul Willoughby, free kick. Just inside the touchline, 15-18 yards or so inside the Chesterfield half on this near side. Willoughby just pushing his left leg down onto the floor. The referee is Matt Russell. Marks a little semicircle on the pitch to tell Brendan Dickinson where to take that from. And, Chesterfield have got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blue shirts in a line a yard or so outside the 18-yard area. So they're quite high on this as the free kick taken in. Oh, it's a poor one. It doesn't get past the first Chesterfield man on the edge of the 18-yard area, and it's cleared away, and Oldham play it all the way back to their goalkeeper. So a little bit of a waste from Brendan Dickinson there. And if you're a Chesterfield supporter, you'll be quite pleased with that. And over on the far side, it is Horton, the man who made the block, drops it into Naylor. He's played it diagonally towards Colclough, but I don't think Colclough's going to get there. He doesn't. Mark Kitching takes it, lays it back to the green-kitted Matt Hudson. Well, is it up to the halfway line? Won well by Palmer. Oh, and clicking the head of Naylor, and it's a foul against Mark Sheldon. But to be fair, I mean, he did clip him in the head. It is a foul, but he was just going for a loose ball, wasn't he?
Yeah, his foot was up, and Naylor was just quicker, came across him and just caught him. There was nothing in it. It's good refereeing that, because it's so easy to just brandish a card here and there.
Well, he's been booked already, hasn't he, Shelton? So
for everything, but that wasn't a booking.
I think the referee did well there. And to be fair, I think he's done quite well so far. We were wondering about early on, but he has been consistent. He's let lots go, so that's what you want to see, isn't it? Colclough brushed off the ball, he takes a tumble, he's looking for the foul, but again, I think that was just a physical duel between Kitching and Colclough ended up just outside the touchline. Got booked in the first minute for simulation at Oxford City, which I didn't think was, and then there was inconsistency later on because an Oxford player did the same and didn't get booked.
Yeah. That's all you want from the refs. I mean, they're human. They're going to make mistakes, and they're going to get criticism from every quarter, from us up here and the supporters, but they've just got to be consistent in what they do, and so far in 50 minutes this ref has been.
Played forward by Oldham, but easy for Chesterfield at the back, and they're trying to play it out now. Played up towards the front blue shirts, bit of head tennis. either side of the halfway line, onto the chest of Dobra, close to the halfway line, but he's maintained possession well, and he's got Horton overlapping, but he's played out to Horton. Has he overhit that a little bit? I can't see the flag. I can see the flag now, because it means it's a Chesterfield corner, because the pullback was put out by Oldham, and that's the 5th corner to Chesterfield. Oldham haven't had one yet, and that says quite a bit about the way that Oldham are playing.
Yeah, the way he's gone. And you look at the Oldham team, they've got some big lads, the Oldham team. They're big. Without having a giant in the team, they've got some tall lads, and Chesterfield will want to not give many set pieces away, I would think.
And all of them are in the box. Dan Gardner warming up in front of us. Corner comes in from the left-hand side. Well, the goalkeeper confidently catches that. And a couple of the corners, he's not really been under as much pressure from blue shirts as you'd want. He's rolled it out too. Nuttall over on the far side. And, well, I tell you what, great piece of play from DJ Oldacre there, because there was an overlap on the left-hand side of Oldham players, and if he'd have not won that header and played it back to Tyra, there were, I don't know if it was 2 or 3 Oldham players.
Yeah, there was trouble, and they spotted it. Oldham spotted it, and that's their game plan. They're breaking quickly.
But it's Mandeville now. He's got Colclough outside him, but Mandeville down the inside right channel, plays it to Colclough now. Griggs in the box. It's another corner kick to Chesterfield. They're starting to build a bit of pressure in this opening 6 minutes of the second half. 0-0 still between the favourites for the title in the National League and the second favourites for the title, and they still are like that. Chesterfield 3 out of 3 wins. Oldham only won 1 and lost 2, but they maintained their position as second favourites, but you can still get 9-1 on promotion for them last night when I looked. Mandeville with the ball in the segment on the right hand side in front of the south stand, plays it short to Dobra on the edge of the 18-yard area. And he backheels it towards Mandeville, well read by Mark Kitching, whose clearance hits Mandeville and bounces out for a goal kick. But that was well thought through, but not quite delivered exactly as Chesterfield had planned.
Yeah, just say well defended in the end. But you can see what Chesterfield's trying to do. As I say, they're quite a big team, Oldham, quite physical. We weren't getting a lot of joy with the ball straight in the box from the corner, so try something different. I mean,
it's just interesting. Willoughby and Nuttall, who we thought it was going to be a 4-3-3 initially before it became a 4-5-1, they do seem to have pushed up a little bit further in this second half. Willoughby down the left of Norwood and Nuttall on the right. So, the way that they lined up for that goal kick is 4-3-3 rather than 4-5-1. So, as David Unsworth slightly tweaked it a little bit. Great piece of play from Colclough, plays the ball out wide towards Mandeville, but I just think he's going to get beaten to that by Hogan, and he does. And that could have been so much more for Chesterfield. Good nick in the first place.
That was Oldham ball. That came off the Chesterfield player.
Oh right, okay. I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was Mandeville. He had a choice of 2 balls, to be fair, the Chesterfield lad there. And the guy went with Mandeville, picked the wrong one, and he played it off him for the throw-in, and the linesman's giving it us.
Oh, I wonder what they shouted for. I just looked down on my pad at the moment that Chesterfield lost the ball, or it was going out for a throw-in. Oldacre back to the halfway line, and Palmer, champion in this division with Stockport County, to the man in his 100th appearance for Chesterfield in all competitions, Jamie Grimes. He's played a good ball through towards Naylor, but good anticipation from Charlie Raglan, and well is it clear, hits the shins of Naylor and goes into the stand for a throw-in to Oldham Athletic. Thanks for choosing to listen to us here on 1866 Sport Live with national windscreens. We know the game's on TV today. It's the only National League game going off at the moment. All the rest kicking off at 3 o'clock. Chesterfield we've got Altrincham next Saturday, and then next home game is on Bank Holiday Monday against Hartlepool United. It's a chase for Willoughby to get to the ball. Does he quite get there? He does. He's down by the corner flag. He's got Tyrone Williams trying to hold him up. Deep cross comes in far too deep for Willoughby, and that's gone out for a throw-in to Chesterfield right down by the corner flag, enabling Oldham to try and press just to keep Chesterfield in the final attacking third from an Oldham perspective. Gardner still warming up, so he's done some serious stuff, Dan. Been plagued by injury throughout his career, hasn't he? But still there.
Yeah, he was a good talent at Chesterfield. He had a lot of skill.
From Halifax, where he'd had a great season at this level, and Chesterfield, of course, were in, I We're in League One when we signed him, or was it still in League Two? Well, he certainly played in League One anyway for Chesterfield.
Yeah, played in League One.
Yeah,
I think he was in League Two because I remember
might have come back end of that season.
Yeah, Cheltenham away was one of his best games I've seen him play. He was unplayable. He scored some. I think a bit about 4 or 5 nil away.
Palmer's made a big error there, and it's given an opportunity for Willoughby to take a shot, and he's hit it at Tyra, but that was very, very similar to the Oxford City control or lack of it by Palmer. Just ran forwards, didn't it, off his right boot.
Yeah, it's a lack of concentration, isn't it?
Yeah, and he stood statuesque when it went to Willoughby. Right, well, he probably did the right thing, because if it had gone for him and the Oldham player had skipped past him, he would have been one-on-one. So actually being statuesque might have been the right decision. Horton receives right by the corner flag, and he's rolled it infield for 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, who's trying to get something out of that. And it's gone out for a goal kick. So, but every time 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲's anywhere near the ball, there's 2 orange shirts minimum on him, isn't there?
Yeah, there was a good pick out from Horton. Found him well in the box, and that's where we want him. In the box with a bit of trickery. But again, good defending. They got the bodies back, which they have done, but they do seem to have. I don't know whether it's because they've got a bit of the wind with them coming down this way. They're pushing the 3 up front from the goal kicks.
It is a goal kick from Matt Hudson as we approach on the big scoreboard. We approach crew time. That's 5-5. 55 minutes, 55. That first season here, 2010-11 under John Sheridan. Who is he here today? I've seen him today. I don't know if he's doing anything on telly, but
yeah, he was on the telly, Phil. I saw him in the lounge. He was doing.
I assumed he would be. Managed both sides, of course. Yeah. Managed Oldham 832 times, I think. As the ball played forward by the Latics. No problem for Harry Tyra, who rolls it out to Tyrone Williams down this right-hand side. Oh, and he's just hit that behind Oldacre, but DJ managed to swivel and turn and clear it, but he was off balance when he cleared it. Oldham coming into this game a little bit, but mainly with Chesterfield errors. A good tackle in from Oldacre there, and is just to have fouled Nuttall. And is Oldacre going to go in the book, because Oldham wanted to take that free kick quickly and the referee's called it back. So he's not. He can't remember who it is. Oh no, he's just found him. He's just found Oldacre. I think he's just having a word with him, which Oldham will feel a bit aggrieved with that. If you call him back and book him, that's fine. But they took the free kick. He could have talked. If all he wanted to do was talk to him, he could have talked to him later.
Yeah, when the ball's gone out or something. Yeah. Like that.
So it's given Chesterfield an opportunity to regroup at the back. But yeah, few little mistakes creeping in for the Spirettes after 57 minutes. Free kick delivered up into the air by Palmer, but it's going to go out for a corner, is it? No, it's kept in well by Horton. A brilliant piece of defending from Horton. He was under no pressure apart from with a bouncing high ball right on the goal line. And his control was terrific. It's cleared up to the other end. It's gone out for an Oldham throw in there, right back territory. But, we can hear the noisy W7 crowd and the North Stand Oldham crowd, 1,388 of those. So Oldham taking the time with this throw in. But Paul could be frustrated with just those little lack of concentrations coming in at the back, Jamie.
I think so, yeah, because we've let Oldham into this game a little bit, and they have pushed up a little bit more. I don't know whether that's due to the wind.
Well, there's the ball forward, and Willoughby did brilliant to get behind the back line, and then it hit him just underneath his armpit, I think, and he couldn't control it. He couldn't quite get out of the way of the flight of the ball because it was not offside, and he'd done a bit of a Ryan Colclough there.
Yeah, it was a very high line to hold, but Chesterfield have got to get back in a grip on this game, to be fair, because I think Oldham have come out a little bit more ambitious the second half. I don't know whether it's to do with the breeze, because they've got the breeze with them now, and we are creating our own problems here.
Tyrone Williams plays it back to Tyra, who's put that into the stand. Or is it onto the roof of the stand, actually? Yeah, it's on the roof. We can see it here, and it's not going to come back that because gravity doesn't work that way. It's rolling just above us very slowly. New ball. Kitching is the man with it in his hands. And you can hear we are the Oldham boys booming out from the fans from Old Money, Lancashire, Greater Manchester in this day and age. Long shot from miles out by Mark Shelton was always going to go over the bar. And, we might have to get another new ball because there's a guy in a light. But nope, he's thrown it straight to Harry Tyra. But I think he was just pleased he caught that one.
He was waiting for the round of applause, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was. Yeah, he was milking it. I nearly caught one at Derbyshire yesterday against Worcestershire, a massive 6. I was only about a foot underneath it. Just couldn't quite get my hand to it. In a way, I'm quite glad because it did probably hurt. Palmer to Williams on the halfway line. Oh, that's a decent ball to Mandeville. Mandeville's got a chance of perhaps getting around, but good defending by Oldham. They've conceded a corner though. They've conceded a corner. It was a stumble by the defender Brennan Dickinson, and it was actually by Hogan, and he's been booked for simulation. Now, it's not very often you see booked for simulation when it's not a penalty scenario.
No, and you're a defender running back towards your own goal, but it's that the thing we say, the Hayden Hollis, wasn't it, get touched and fall over.
Yeah.
I think they've maybe got a little bit wise to it.
Mandeville with a corner deep towards the far stick, headed towards... Yeah! It's been nodded in! It is defender Ash Palmer with a header that's put Chesterfield right on the hour mark. Right on the hour mark. Chesterfield 1, Oldham 0. A corner scored at Oxford. A corner scored at home against Oldham. The Spyrites lead again. Chesterfield 1, Oldham 0.
Well, I think I'm not the jinx, Phil, but I said they haven't been having much success with putting the corners into the box on the last one, and I'll have to say it more often because a great ball and a great header round the back. I think it looked a bit like a diving header at the end, but that was my thing in the first half. 2 or 3 corners went in and they were cleared by the boot, and I don't think they should be cleared by a boot. You should either have an attacker going in and heading it, or the defender should be coming on and heading it. And there again, it was a stupid header, but great ball in, bit of pace, and a great finish. So that should set the game alight now.
And to be fair, Palmer needed that. He made that mistake a couple of minutes ago that let Oldham in. He made the mistake at Oldham. That'll really, really, really give him a great feel of confidence.
I would think so and hope so, because he's a good centre half. He does what, but he seems to have a lapse of concentration, and it's in a dangerous area, which often can lead to a goal. Dan Gardner.
Dan Gardner's coming on, from a Spyrite, and he's coming on for Kurt Willoughby, who he had that shot a little while ago, but to be fair, probably has been the most anonymous of the Oldham players in this game so far. So it's not really a big surprise. So Dan Gardner. They've also got, of course, former Spyrite Mike Fondop on the bench, Oldham, and Alex Reid, who has caused problems for Stockport against us many a time in the past, and for Oldham as well. Spyrites used Williams for Shackelford at half-time. They've still got Ollie Banks, Michael Jacobs, James Berry and Joe Quigley on there. So it's a possibility that we might see Quigley a little bit later on if it remains at 1-0 to try and just hold it up a little bit at the front. Throw's still not been taken by Tyrone Williams. He's being encouraged now by the referee to take it. Grigg going for it, cleared away by Hogan, one of 3 Oldham players in the referee's notebook, which won't help them at the moment. Oh, lovely piece of control by Mandeville, lays it back to Oldacre. He's picked out Dobra. The confidence in the blue shirts. They seem to be half a yard quicker already after that goal from Palmer. It's Naylor just outside the box, rolls it in towards Grigg, but intercepted by Oldham. It would have had to have been a perfect ball to have got through, and it's just a massive, massive clearance by Oldham that Harry Tyra goes out and picks up by the corner flag. Don't forget, Josh will be compiling your views on social media after the end of the game, and he and I will be chatting after the whistle, and we'll be getting the first reaction from the Chesterfield dressing room as well. So stay with us after the match for plenty more about Chesterfield. It's Mandeville down the right hand side, plays the ball into the centre, headed away by Oldham, and Mandeville is just 1 or 2 people in the comfy seats just blocking our way. It's gone out for an Oldham throw it down in their own territory, left back area. 64 on the clock, 8-1-6-4 the crowd, if you just put the kettle on at half time when we mentioned it. Mike Fondop warming up just down in front of us now, as are Ollie Banks and Michael Jacobs. So Mandeville going in to try and battle Ward. Palmer with a header, it goes into touch, but he won it cleanly. It's gone out right by the dugouts. The 4th official, Mr. Jones, fields it, and Kitching on the ball to Dan Gardner, his first touch, and a great tackle. Kitching robbed by Colclough. Colclough bursting down the right hand side. We know Kitching's good at trying to get back. Oh, and he's brought Colclough down. That's got to be another booking for the left back. Well, not another booking for the left back, another booking for Oldham. But I'm not confident, Jamie. I've written B down next to his name yet, and the referee's not even gone anywhere near him yet.
No, he's got out of the way again, hasn't he? But I would be surprised if he gets away with that one.
Yeah, well, he's marking where the free kick's got to be taken, the 10-yard line, and then I think he'll go. And again, a little bit like last time, Kitching has disappeared as far as you can. He's not going to book him, is he? He's not going to book him. And that's the worst foul of all the ones that...
Yeah, that's a strange one. That's a strange, because he lost the ball. He was frustrated, wasn't he? So he lost the ball, then he just took him out.
And we scrubbed out the B. Mandeville on the ball for the free kick. In towards the far stick. It's a dangerous one and headed out for a corner by the orange-shirted defence in front of the packed south stand. 65 on the clock. You are listening to 1866 Sport Live with National Windscreens, the local company with the national network. It is Chesterfield 1, Oldham Athletic 0. And the last few games between these two teams have tended to be either draws or the away team win. So Mandeville takes his corner from the left-hand side, headed away by Oldham once more, and Oldacre takes it. Goes through a couple of brick walls to try and knock it forward, but can't succeed. And then Grimes with a great piece of work, but the loose ball falls kindly for Oldham. It's going to roll out for a throw, is it? Right in front of Paul Cook, it does, and it's an Oldham throw. But that was a couple of bold tackles from Chesterfield. Oldacre and Grimes, neither of them quite ran for them, did they?
No, but they were good tackles. There were a lot of commitment, a lot of bravery in the tackles, and it's ended up back at the Oldham keeper. So
I always remember one run at Saltergate many years ago by Derek Niven. I think it was against Brentford, where he won sort of 4 consecutive tackles moving forward, and everyone went to a Brentford man. He just got up, won the next tackle, it went to a Brentford man, won the next tackle, went to a Brentford man. It was phenomenal to see as Oldham clear the lines. And Oldham player leaves himself in there, Norwood, on the goalkeeper, but the referee saw it, took no action.
A little bit naughty.
It was a bit naughty.
And unnecessary.
It's a couple of times Norwood's been a bit naughty. He's not in the referee's notebook yet. Ball out to Colclough, who's in some space on the right, played it in field towards Grigg. An opportunity for the Grigg.
Got to shoot.
He should have shot first time. It was brilliant defending, but Colclough, fantastic burst. You'd have put your money on Grigg scoring there.
Yeah, he's touched it. He's just tried to. I can see what he's trying to do. I mean, it's easy up here saying he's got to shoot, but the defender's running across him. If he's just cut back inside him, it's a simple finish. I can see what he's trying to do, but you just feel you've got to get your shot away there.
Yeah, that could have really, with 3/4 of the game gone, put Chesterfield in the driving seat. Josh and I were saying beforehand, sort of tongue-in-cheek, that ideally Chesterfield will win this 1-0.
Yeah,
I want it to be 2-0 now.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's Shelton on the ball, plays it in field. Palmer clears, finds Grigg, who's manhandled by Hogan, who's been booked once. Now, what's the referee got to do here? Because Hogan is in the box for simulation, and he absolutely went into Grigg's shoulder first, didn't he?
That's a poor challenge. There's no way he can win the ball.
Absolutely no way whatsoever. So the skipper is on eggshells. Now the referee should have booked Kitching a few minutes ago and didn't. He's walking towards Hogan. He's telling...
I think it'll be a warning, Phil, to be honest.
He's telling Dan Garden to keep out of it, and it is going to be a warning. And Hogan knows that the time is more than borrowed, I think, now.
It was a silly challenge, especially when in a yellow card. Another day that had been...
Yes, if it had not just been booked, I think that would have been a yellow card.
Yeah.
And I know, it shouldn't make a difference. Everything should be seen on its own merit. But that foul plus the simulation would have been a harsh sending off, wouldn't it? Anyway, it's played by Dobber out towards Horton. I think he might have just overhit that a little bit. No, Horton's kept it in. He's really having to work hard to try and get something from it, and Oldham just get the numbers back and get it clear. They're on the corner of their own 18-yard area. 69th minute. 1-0 the Sparks lead. Williams has got a bit of work to do here. He's let it bounce, but it was the right thing to do, and he nodded it back safely to his own goalkeeper under pressure from Brennan Dickinson, who looks as though he's just pushed up a little bit down this left-hand side a bit more, doesn't he? Oldham have got to push forward more because they trail. They lost 4-0 at Southend, then beat Aldershot 5-1. They lost 2-1 at home to FC Halifax Town on Tuesday night. There's an 8,000 crowd there as well, so that's consecutive 8,000 crowds Oldham have played in. And this week, and Palmer plays it back to 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Chesterfield can start playing a little bit more patient stuff now, just to try and wind the clock down a little bit. It's still more than 20 minutes to go, so you can't get out of the habit of trying to find that second goal just yet. As though a nice turn inside from Mandeville, and he's got two players on him. He's pushed over by Dan Gardner. Free kick Spyright. It's 12 yards inside the Oldham half. And Mandeville's made some nice little turn in front. He seems to be the one that's got quite a bit more treatment from the Oldham midfield as well, hasn't he? All three of the attacking midfielders have had their fair share of bruises today, I think.
Yeah, I think, which is quite unusual. I think 𝓬𝓸𝓷 been the least fouled of the three.
First 5 minutes it was 𝓬𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷, but the rest, it's been Goldcliff and Mandeville since. Free kick taken shortly. Oldacre under pressure from Gardner there as an offside flag goes up against Grigg. He doesn't think he was, but it means that Oldham have got to take the play back to their own half, or their own goal area rather. Less than 20 minutes of normal time remaining.
Well done to the ref there. The keeper put it down right in the middle of the box where he wants to be, and it was right out here, so he didn't let him get away with it, to be fair to him.
Yeah, we might just sort of question a couple of non-bookings from the ref, but he's handled the game well. Williams wins the header. That's one of the advantages of having a centre-half at right back, isn't it? Plays it down the right-hand side, high in the air towards Grigg, who nods that down. 𝓬𝓷𝓷 couldn't quite get there, but Mandeville did, and it's now Naylor on the halfway line, drops it short to Oldacre, looks round, sees orange shirts, plays it back to the cerise-clad 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰. Now Grimes. We saw him running down the left wing against Dorking in the last home match. I don't think he'll be doing much of that if the scoreline stays the same. It's chipped forward towards Mandeville, but the goalkeeper and Kitching between them read that well and shut out the Chesterfield reigning player of the year to prevent him getting any contact on that ball. And it's rolled out to Freeman, who's hardly been in the game in this second half. And he plays a 1-2 with Gardner. Gardner looking lively here and there, and he's always a good outlet for Oldham, but it's played along by them, not down by Palmer from on his knees, and back with 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓷𝓷. And straight away, Nuttall is coming in to try and close him down. And Palmer just makes a little bit of a overhit of that, and Chesterfield playing a little bit of suicide stuff. Not quite Woking last year, but hey, another day it could have been. And a sensible ball out by Oldacre, picks out 𝓬𝓷𝓷𝓷, and he's got Horton overlapping down the left. 𝓬𝓷𝓷 15 yards inside the Oldham half. And plays it out to Horton on the left-hand side. Ball comes in, hits Grigg, gone out for a goal kick. It was about the right height and right pace from Horton the cross, but Grigg had just come in really into the near post and couldn't get out of the way of that ball, and it hit his shoulder, and it's gone out for a goal kick to Oldham. But that was all of a sudden Oldacre, after those dangerous passes in and around their own area, gave Chesterfield a chance to break clear. There's going to be another Oldham substitution. It looks like Mike Fondup getting ready. He's still in the dugout. Mike Fondup set to come on. So will he come on for Nuttall, who's on a yellow card? That would be my guess. Could come on for Dickinson, who's pushed a little bit further forward and isn't a natural front player. He is coming on for number 10, who is Joe Nuttall. Yeah, that was always going to be the one that you'd expect it to be. So two subs made, both former Spyrights. So Fondup has scored a couple of goals in that victory over Aldershot, 5-1 last Saturday. And it's not quite a straight shot, because he's gone to the middle man, hasn't it? Which means, have they gone to a 4-4-2 rather than a 4-3-3 or a 4-5-1, whichever way you look at it? I think they probably are going to be a 4-4-2 now, do you think?
Yeah, I think Fondup's more of a centre forward, central striker.
Oh, another substitution going on. I can see the board going up. It's 𝓬𝓷𝓷𝓷 coming off and Jacobs coming on.
And fair play to 𝓬𝓷𝓷𝓷 there. He's gone off on the closest side of the pitch. He hasn't walked all the way across, which with Chesterfield leading, he could easily have done done the jog that's slower than a walk, like we say, but he's gone off the far side, so fair play there.
Yeah, straight swap, Jacobs out onto that left-hand side. So I had a little bit more height in case there's any set plays or anything to defend as well, but he's also not weak in the side because he's a terrific player in his own right. It's Kitching on the ball, just outside the 18-yard area. He's got Dickinson on the overlap, blocked by Colclough, goes out for an Oldham throw, just down in front of us, 20 yards from the corner flag. 15.5 minutes of normal time remaining. 1-0 the Sparrites lead. Phil Tooley and Jamie Hewitt here on 1866 Sport, and another challenging from Colclough, another throw in, and it was Nuttall who'd just gone off. I almost thought he was on the pitch there, but he anyway. Cross comes in from the visitors, headed up into the air by Naylor, and it's going to be cleared away by Oldacre, and that's a foul to Chesterfield. Dan Gardner, who already has made 2 fouls and he's only been on the park for about 14 seconds.
We'll give him the benefit. He might not be up to the pace of the match. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt, but he's never been his. I mean, he's centre midfield, isn't he?
Yeah.
At the minute, but
tackling was never his strength.
That's never his strength. Tackling. He was good on the ball and great delivery, set pieces, and a good shot on him. But tackling was never his forte.
So definitely 4-4-2 for the visitors right now. Fondop and Norwood. Not a bad front two partnership, you have to say, but the ball and the advantage with Chesterfield. Although Oldham turn it over once more, and it's an opportunity for Dickinson, who's dropped a little bit further back than he was a moment ago. That looked offside against Norwood, but the flag does go up very late. So
good spot, Phil. I didn't see that one.
It was not far offside, but he was offside. Howard's just about to read out the attendance, and I'm sure that'll be a good received well by everybody.
That is fantastic support from two big clubs, to be fair, in this league. And they all show good support. It's nice to see the away end full. I don't know whether we'll see it many more times this season, to be honest, like that.
No, I don't think so at all, as the ball is over on the far side with the Sparrites, and an opportunity to get the ball into the box. It's played to Naylor on the D. He's going to have a shot on. It's blocked out. It just wouldn't run for Colclough, and cleared away by Oldham out for a Chesterfield throw in. David Unsworth, the Oldham manager, is nearest to it. I thought he would have jogged and got that a bit quicker. Well, he did jog, but it wasn't quick. So Tyrone Williams, half-time substitute for Ryan Shackelford, throws it in, and a little bit of argy-bargy on the edge of the box, cleared away by Oldham, and Chesterfield pick it up with Oldacre. He's fouled from behind by Fondop. So he's taking on the mantle of the man most fouled at the moment, Oldacre.
Yeah, he's done well, Oldacre.
Because he's good at holding it, isn't he?
He's been on the ball a lot as well, hasn't he? And his distribution's been good today.
Williams takes the free kick, squares it to Naylor. There's Horton on the left wing, but it's played to the inside left channel, and Jacobs back to Grimes, and some nice little first-time football, the sort of stuff that you see players doing when they're warming up in a match, with that quick-footed in a circle sort of thing. That's why they do it, because you do it in the match so much. Williams, a little nick past Brennan Dickinson. I think he was still listening to the cheers when he made not a very good pass forwards, and Oldham win it in their own half. Hogan on eggshells at the moment. Good challenging from 𝓣𝓸𝓲𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰, forces the ball to go all the way back to Oldham's D. And almost nicked by Jacobs there again. Oldham living dangerously in the form of Dan Gardner. It's played out wide right to Freeman. Back in, again, Gardner, he's not really got into the pace of the game yet. He was playing sub on Tuesday night, but not played a great deal recent times. But a good ball out to Kitching is some space on this near side for Oldham. Oldacre goes in. Fondop's first touch just outside the 18-yard area. He's got Palmer for company. Plays it back to Kitching, as he always does. Whips across in. Opportunity for Oldham, but it's volleyed away right up into the air by Naylor, out for a throw-in on the far side. Sometimes that's what fans... 1-0 against one of your main rivals. Safety first goes down well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's just one of those balls. It's a cross in the box, not a bad one, but it's the second balls a lot, isn't it, that we seem to get undone by. It just drops to... I don't know why. It seems to drop one of their players, and this time Chesterfield run it and cleared it. Fondop's in there.
Fondop in the right-hand side. No offside. He's just outside the 18-yard area on the right. Plays it out to Freeman. First time whipped in cross, but it was too close to Harry Tyra, who does the catch, fall down on your chest, keep it there a while, get up, run to the edge of the box, still got it in his hands. 11 to go here on 1866 Sport Live with National Windscreen Spirite sponsors since 1986. At 1866 Sport on Twitter, 1866 Sport on Facebook to get your thoughts in at the end of the game. For me and Josh to discuss in after the whistle. As Colclough wins the ball, he's got orange shirts all around him. He's forced towards one. He's been fouled by Gardner. If Gardner doesn't get booked, that's his third foul. He only came on. What time did he come on? 62 minutes. So that's his third foul.
Warning.
Yeah, he's got a warning. None of them have been particularly bad, but that's a tot-up, isn't it? It's a tot-up job.
I don't think Dan Gardner could do a bad foul. He's just he's just not the best at tackling. He's but a talented player. You wouldn't, if you give him the ball 20 yards out, he'll hit the target 9 times out of 10, and there'll be decent shots. So he's a talented player, but as we've said before, I don't think tackling's his main asset.
Free kick then, Mandeville to deliver it beyond the goalkeeper. Is it beyond everybody? No, Palmer gets something on that, but so too did the Oldham defender. It's gone out for a Sparrites throw far side in front of the Karen Child community stand here at the SMH Group Stadium. And well, we've got the jog from Brandon Horton towards the area. Dave Waller leaning on the railings just behind us, who was a good substitute for Jamie in the Dorking Wanderers match a couple of weeks ago. And well, Horton cuts him in field into the danger area, but good recovery from Oldham, although the loose ball does fall back to the Sparrites in Jacobs, and now Grimes has got it. Plays it into the box. That's too high for Grigg. Oh, and rather than let that go through to the goalkeeper, I think that was headed away by Oldham, and it wasn't the right decision. I think the goalkeeper should have given a shout on that, because it's still Chesterfield in possession with Colclough pushed forward by Williams. Now Colclough again on the right hand side. He sees Mandeville going towards the corner flag, and that's exactly where Mandeville picks it up. Plays it back to Williams' 4 blue shirts in and around the 18-yard area. Little back heel from the Chesterfield right back. And Mandeville switches play over to the far side where Oldacre takes charge of it. Had a good game today, Darren Oldacre. His first start of the season after creating the assist for Will Grigg's late winner at Oxford City on Tuesday night. Naylor on the ball. Out to Colclough once more, who's shown that he can beat the man. Oh, and he's played that towards Mandeville, but good anticipation from Shelton just to realise that if he started bursting forward, he'd get there first. And Oldham, turned over by Tom Naylor. Great piece of play from the Sparrites number 4. Now Horton, he's not dashing down the left-hand side, he's sauntering. And now it's a combination of Jacobs and Oldacre together. Sun still shining here, and Grimes, is he going to play that back to his goalkeeper from the halfway line? No, he chips it forward. Well, it's overhit. Oh, and again, a little bit of lack of communication at the back from Oxford United, because the goalkeeper could have got that, but it's put into touch by Charlie Raglan.
Oldham.
Oldham.
No, you said Oxford. You said.
Oh, again. Oh dear.
It's the O's. It's because they were there on Tuesday.
Yeah. And Grigg is going off. Quigley going on. I think I probably suggested that a few minutes ago, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah.
You did. You said that. You say it's a bit of height in the box and in both boxes, isn't it? And hold up play, but Will Griggs worked tirelessly today. He's been moving defenders around really well. He'll just be disappointed with that chance, I think, because for a player like that, it was a gilt-edged chance. I can see what he's trying to do. If he cuts back inside, it's a simple finish, where the other finish was a little bit more difficult. But he'll be just a little disappointed that he didn't make it 2-0 to Chesterfield.
Yep, yet to score here for Chesterfield, of course. Scored for others, but both his goals, both away from home, both critical, of course. And although we're at 3-0 just before half-time, we didn't think it was as critical as it would have been. But technically, it's down as the winner, isn't it, against Fylde?
Yes. Yeah,
ball back with Sparrites keeper Harry Tyra. Anxious moments. Chesterfield have been scoring late this season, but of course they did concede late against Dorking last time out here. Quigley wins the header and feeds Mandeville, and Mandeville just couldn't quite. He's on the floor and gets the loose ball, but it didn't fall kindly for the Sparrites. And Colclough forces the back pass from Kitching, out left-footed from Hudson, the keeper, towards Brendan Dickinson. Couldn't quite get that. Tyrone Williams gets something on it. He gets a header on it, and then it And then, Norwood is holding his face, and it hit him in his the leg hit him in his chest.
Yeah, he didn't catch his face. To be fair, it was a high foot. It was a foul. It was a free kick.
No
it was a high foot, but
but Norwood,
he's playing the game there.
Yeah, he is. He's going his way. Hit him in his face, and sorry, James Norwood, that's just cheating. It clearly hit him across the chest in his stomach area. You've got the foul. Don't try and make something out of it. He's already done an obscene gesture at the Chesterfield fans. Anyway, Oldham have taken this one quickly, and they got away with this one that time. The referee harshly pulled them back the last time they took one quickly. And it's with Gardner. Decent ball in the box, but Grimes is going to head that away. And it's gone out for a throw-in to Oldham, right down in front of us on this near side. The Oldham left, 1-0 the Sparrites lead. At 1866 Sport on Twitter, nail-biting are us, as is often the case. Big match, this one, between the two teams that most people felt were going to be the best two teams in the division. And, good pressing from Chesterfield forced Oldham all the way back to the halfway line, and it's Freeman plays it in field. Naylor, just does enough to win the ball back for Chesterfield, and it's a potential break for the Sparrites. And down the left-hand side, it's Jacobs. Oldham have recovered a little bit now from that. I don't think Naylor wanted to do the risky ball forward. It was all about keeping it rather than risking it. But it's with Oldacre now, Williams. So, Oldham have recovered fully at the back now. But good play from Naylor to create this situation that Chesterfield got the ball back in their own possession. Oldacre rolls it in to that man Naylor, plays it short to Jacobs, and he takes a tumble, but no foul there. And Quigley doing exactly what he's been brought on for to do, holding the ball up. It's going to run out for a corner kick. Well done, Joe Quigley. That's the 9th corner kick of the game, and none of them have gone Oldham's way. Yeah,
I mean, that's been the story of the game, hasn't it? Oldham have tried to come out a little bit more the second half, but still not. They were still looking for that clean sheet. I think they were still defending with a 5 or 4. They changed it when they went 1-0 down. But good play, Joe Quigley. Great play from Joe Quigley, to be fair to him there.
So there's going to be a bit more stoppage time in this second half with substitutions and a bit of a movement of an advertising hoarding out there as well from Mandeville, who whips his corner in.
He's hit the bar.
Hit the top of the bar direct. It didn't touch anybody in the box. It hit the top of the bar direct from the corner kick. The goalkeeper was grappling with air there. My word. That's got the Yogi's new drum banging.
That's nearly made it to the end of the match.
Yeah, it has, yeah. So goal kick taken by Hudson. Well won in the air by Grimes. You've got to start thinking about your man of the match, Jamie, as Mandeville bursting forwards out to Colclough. Quigley's at the far post, screaming for the ball. Colclough's got onto the edge of the 18-yard area. He's trying to find space to shoot. He's got it in field to Mandeville. Mandeville gets a shot in, blocked by the backside of an Oldham player. Out to Williams. It's once more on the right-hand side with Jacobs. Inside the box from Mandeville, back to Jacobs just outside. Those 7 and 10 playing it together. Right on the corner on the right-hand side. And patient play, looking for the moment from Chesterfield. They don't want to give the ball away at all, but they want to try and give themselves a cushion. And it's played by Oldacre forward, but Kitching intercepts. And there's a Chesterfield player down. I'll just follow the ball.
It's Oldacre.
It is Oldacre, yeah. And great tackle by Grimes on the halfway line. And Mandeville there slides it forward towards Jacobs. Jacobs likes playing. He's played it out to Quigley on the left-hand side. He's overhit that, and Quigley only just manages to keep it in from going out for a goal kick. Cleared away, though, by Oldham for a Chesterfield throw. And I was just expecting a shot from Jacobs then, Jamie Hewitt.
Yeah, I can see why. I think Quigley had the better chance, but he's just overhit it. He's just got to roll it into his path and give it on his right foot so he can bend it in the far corner, or attempt to bend it in the far corner.
Well, the clearance must have hit Quigley because it gone out for an Oldham throw anyway, and they took it 10 yards further forward. Anyway, Quigley's won it back. He's got orange shirts all around him. It's just sheer weight of numbers. It's cleared away by Oldham, but out for a Chesterfield throw in. 90 seconds of normal time remaining at 1866 Sport on, what shall we call it, X now? Twitter. And you can hear the Chesterfield supporters warming to this position. Favourites 1, second favourites 0. Well, the last player in this fixture, home or away, to score a goal at home was Mike Jones, but playing for Oldham. There's Chesterfield won 1-0 subsequently to that, but it was an own goal. So, yeah, there aren't many home goals scored in this fixture in recent years. Mike Jones for Oldham, the last scorer of a home goal, has been 1-0s, 0-0s, 0-1s, 0-2s. But Oldham breaking down the right-hand side now. They've not given up yet. Great challenge goes in, and it's a Chesterfield throw as well. Liam Mandeville with the sort of challenge that until Paul Cook came along, you would never see him making.
No, you'd never see him that far back, would you? You wouldn't see him that far back. He was a technically good player. He just didn't have the energy, or he didn't have the aptitude to do that on the pitch. But now he's a different player, and so much better for it.
And John Sheridan on television duty, the man who actually brought him to Chesterfield, but certainly Paul Cook was the man who made him. And that's overhit for Oldham, goes out for a Chesterfield throw-in as Kitching trying desperately to chase that. Right, we've got 6 additional minutes. 6 additional minutes. And again, the scoreboard in the corner clicks on. That's just great to see, actually, that you know, everybody in the stands don't need to keep an eye on their clocks after 45 and 90 minutes. Really pleased that can happen now. I don't know why it couldn't, as the throw flicked on by Quigley, but it didn't quite find Colclough. A half-hearted header from Oldham falls kindly for Jacobs, and now on the halfway line is Jamie Grimes, out to Brandon Horton, who I'm sure is one of Jamie's contenders for man of the match. We'll not ask you to name it yet, but who's your shortlist of 2 or 3, Jamie?
You've just named one, Brandon Horton. I think he's been terrific. DJ Oldacre, I think, has had a great game. Liam Mandeville is always in the mix, I think, and I think Tom Naylor has done a good job.
Well, we'll see how it goes, because Mandeville's played that forward towards Quigley. Good defending and goalkeeping to keep the Chesterfield number 27 out. Well, we've got another 5 minutes to go. We'll give you a couple of minutes before you have to absolutely commit yourselves. Jamie Hewitt for the Netcoms IT Man of the Match here on 1866 Sport Live. Please stay with us afterwards, Josh and I, with After the Whistle. First reaction from the dressing room as Mike Fondup's on the ball, tries a shot, blocked by Jamie Grimes, fell for Jacobs. He's got it to Quigley, and Quigley trying to hook it back round under massive pressure from Charlie Raglan. Couldn't quite find Blue, so it's still Oldham on the ball, only just inside the Chesterfield half. Over on the far side, Mark Shelton coming back to fetch it. Kieran Freeman. And, well, there's 3 or 4 orange shirts saying pass it forwards, and they did, and it's cut out by Horton, that man Horton, and he couldn't control it, but he's got a throw in out of it far side as well. And Tina, the photographer, has just messaged me and said, hope you notice the clock is ticking over, because I was talking to her about it the other day, and I think she's technically the person who probably made it happen. So yes, we did, Tina. As Horton takes the throw, flicked on by Quigley, and the referee's given something there. It must have been a little bit of a push by Quigley. He's holding his hands out, and the sun coming out for the brightest it's been all afternoon right now. It's still relatively early, of course. It's only 22 minutes past 2.
Yeah, it's a bit strange. It feels like 5 o'clock, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yes. And, well, not a great free kick from Oldham. They're forced to... Dan Gardner's played it back to his goalkeeper, who's not actually anywhere near his goals, but it was going to go wide. But all of a sudden, it's just created a little bit of nervous moments. Oh, and Palmer heads that one up into the air. If he'd have had a shout from Tyra. Oh, and it's headed away for a corner by Brandon Horton to Oldham Athletic on the far side. So if Tyra had given a shout to Palmer, or if Palmer had heard a shout if there was one, he'd have let that go. And then just a misjudged header back by Horton gives Oldham their first corner of the match on 90 plus 4. 93-20. Was it 5 minutes? It was 5 additional minutes. 6 additional minutes, wasn't it? Yeah. Corner then from the left-hand side. Chesterfield got a bit of work to do. Headed over the bar by Oldham into... Well, that row K, I think, that one. It wasn't that close. So Chesterfield got away with that, and we've got the ball being kept by the Oldham fans. They want to get it back in, to be honest, because if I were the referee, I wouldn't be adding this on. And, well, there's an Oldham fan being dragged out by the stewards. A new ball comes in, and you know as soon as that comes, there's been something thrown, a bottle thrown from the Oldham fans there. So the referee has seen that. That will go in his report. So it's a goal kick after all that to Chesterfield. We've had 4 minutes of the 6 go, but I would think the referee will probably add a little bit on, and I'm sure that other ball will come back at some stage. But that's only just going to be wasting time for Oldham from the fans.
It's not the most intelligent thing to do, is it? Really? I mean, I'm not saying that about all Oldham fans, but it's not the it's not the cleverest thing I've seen.
No, when you're desperate for every minute you can get, keep the ball. It's not way back. Man of the match, Jamie.
I've named the contenders. I missed Jamie Grimes out there. I think he's had a faultless game, to be fair, but I'm going to go for Brandon Horton today. I think he's been terrific and very dangerous.
So the IT Netcoms man of the match is Brandon Horton today, named by Jamie Hewitt, and it's Oldham on the ball. It's Shelton plays it out wide right. Opportunity for Freeman to come forward. He's well into the box. That's going to be Tyrus for sure. Oh, he's not caught it. He's punched it, and Fondup takes a fall, and it's a great shot. Comes out. Tyrus stabbed in by Norwood. 95-09. Norwood has equalised, and it's 1-1 here. And Oldham fans on the pitch.
Look, that is ridiculous. The Oldham fans just pushed the keeper over.
No, Oldham fans.
They want
it's
banning.
the one in the Oldham.
It's the big fat one in the white shirt.
Yeah, in the white shirt. Somebody's just attacked Tyra. Oldham fans disgracefully on the pitch.
This is a disgrace. Disgrace, Phil.
Disgrace. And, Oldham have equalised. It will stand. It was a shot from range that Tyra couldn't hear. I thought he could have perhaps caught the ball, and he punched it, came back in, made the save, but there was Norwood to stab the ball home to make it Chesterfield 1, Oldham 1. So Oldham fans still.
Well, the Chesterfield keeper was assaulted.
Yeah,
really.
he's just gone to tell the linesman about it, hasn't he?
I mean, it should be on camera, to be honest. But it was the guy that it was the. I think I called him the big fat one, but it was the overweight guy in the white shirt.
So Oldham have equalised.
Disgraceful scenes by their fans, to be honest.
Absolutely. There's still somebody standing in the goal area. Look, still.
They
take him off.
I mean, he doesn't look as though he could get much further than the goal, does he? Because he looks not as though he could move very far.
Yeah, well, he slipped away from the stewards.
But they want banning from away games like this. Yeah. And the atmosphere is brilliant, but they shouldn't be allowed here.
No. Of course, it's on television, so there'll be television pictures as well, which I'm sure the police will be wanting to see. So 1-1 right at the death. At 1866 Sport to get your views in. I know you might have already sent one in, but it doesn't quite count. Norwood having a chat with Oldacre over on the far side, but Tyra is still up by the halfway line. He's having a chat with Kitching at the moment, Mark Kitching, who's taking a drink. So the referee clearly waited until absolute order has been restored. And you have to say for Chesterfield's second half performance, that's not deserved, is it?
Through the game, it's not deserved. It's Chesterfield have been the better team. Okay, they're the better chances first half, but it's just a last-minute goal again, isn't it? I say the keeper probably should have caught the first one. It's easy to say from up here. We said about Dan Gardner, he was a guy who had the shot. It was hard to hold, just squirmed away from him, and Norwood does what he's done. He anticipates well and stabbed it in. I don't agree with his celebration towards the Chesterfield fans, which antagonises everything. I think he's been a bit of a silly boy today. He's been a bit of a naughty lad with his gestures and what he's done, but the only way to stop it is capture it on camera and ban him for a few games, I suppose, but that won't happen.
They're taking him off. Oldham are taking him off. The game not restarted yet, but I can see the fourth official has got 30 on the board, and he's going to be replaced by, I think it's Ben Tollett looking through. Yeah, Ben Tollett. So technically 90 plus 9 coming on. Yeah, well, Norwood gestures at the obscene gestures at the crowd. Some little niggles in there, and
I mean, it's football. They'll say it's banter, but he's not been a clever boy, has he? And he's
celebrate in front of your own fans,
and he's shown he hasn't got a lot of class, to be fair.
Yeah, Tyra was clearly shoved over by, now there's a orange firecracker flare come onto the pitch in 𝓳𝓸𝓷𝓲𝓷𝓰's goal area. So we've probably only got 30 seconds of play remaining here.
Yeah, of all the away supporters I've seen, I mean, you see some idiots, but these have been the worst I've seen, to be totally honest. These have been disgraceful. They've let the club down. They've let Oldham down. They're a good club.
Yeah.
They're a big club. They've got a good support, but these fans there.
Well, Mike Fondup's arguing with the referee about getting the firecracker off the park.
They've let Oldham Athletic down.
Well, the referee's blown for full time. He's blown for full time. Well, there was still a minute to play. I know. Well, yeah, it has definitely blown for full time, Jamie. It's ended 1-1, and ugly scenes at the end.
Disgraceful scenes, Phil. Disgraceful.
And the Chesterfield players in the referee's face, sort of asking why he's not continued to play, because
the Oldham fans have won.
Yeah.
By getting him to call it off. I mean, I know it's going to 99% sure it's going to end a draw, but it's good job it's on the telly in a way, because there'll be video footage of the idiots from Oldham, and it was disgraceful. It was tarnished a good game.
Back to the match, Chesterfield. Anyway, it's hard to win for 4 on the trot. Chesterfield haven't done it since 1954 from the beginning of from the start of the season. They've got a draw against the second favourites. It's not a disaster, is it? But it just feels flat.
It is flat because it's the last minute, and it always does. It'll feel like a win for Oldham, a defeat for Chesterfield. But Chesterfield have got to take heart. We're with a better team. If Oldham are the second favourites, and if that's how the league's going to pan out, we know it won't. There'll be other teams that will come up. But if they're second favourites, Chesterfield are well-justified favourites and will win the league easily if Oldham are going to finish second. But we know it won't pan out like that. I don't think they should clap their fans, to be totally honest, what they're doing now, but we'll go off that. But Chesterfield with a better team today, deservedly got the lead. Should have gone 2-0 up, we think, with Will Grigg. They'll be disappointed with that. It'll feel like a defeat, last-minute goal, but that happens in football. We've done it a couple of times as the season's gone on. Still undefeated, and obviously Oldham haven't made any ground on Chesterfield in the point stake. And we will see what next week brings. But a good performance from Chesterfield. I think they'll be pleased with that. I think Chesterfield will be pleased with the performance, and it's just hard to put the game into words with the disgraceful scenes that happened at the end. The Oldham fans have let Oldham Football Club down today. They've come in the numbers. They've supported well. They've made their voice heard. What happened at the end was disgraceful. There is one way to stop it, because they want Oldham to get as many points as they can, and that's take points off Oldham. Not in this game, but deduct them points.